And we're live. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5th episode of the Geek Culture and Philosophy Podcast. My name is Mike.
And my name's RC.
And we are here to talk about stuff in geek culture, geekdom, current events, politics, philosophy, technology, science, basically anything that interests us, and hopefully will interest you as well. RC,
Yes.
how are you doing today?
I'm not doing too bad. It's Saturday, and I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh yeah, me too. It's always great when a week goes by and like the flaws of Magic the Gathering are just put out onto the internet again for everyone to see, and just I say this tongue in cheek because it's honestly sad how shitty the game is getting. But if you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about Magic again. Surprise! If you don't know what we're talking about, the Dominaria, the new big set for Magic the Gathering after this Masters 25 is going to come out. It's supposed to like revamp and bring back all this cool stuff, and everyone's going to love it. Most of the set got leaked online, or at least all the good cards got leaked online. And from some like Chinese website or whatever. And so Wizards of the Coast decided to just take it on the chin and release this article, which is usually the article is usually released after the entire set is already spoiled, and it goes over like all the rules questions you could have for individual cards to help people out. And but because of this, they include basically every card they possibly could need a rules question for. So like a lot of cards in the set are spoiled. It's like 140, I think. And if you include like the basic lands, that's half the set. We were going to just go through it and talk about what we like, what we dislike about the announcement, and any general thoughts about this Dominaria thing, RC?
Well, I mean, I think one of the topics we're probably going to talk about later in the show is, well, possibly we might touch on the fact that Wizards seems to be hiring certain individuals, not really necessarily based on merit, but due to certain physical or certain characteristics these individuals possess. It seems like they're no longer hiring the best person for the job, so to speak. And ever since they've been instituting that hiring practice, there have been more and more of these like general problems with like the release of information, because there's been many of these leaks in the past, but there wasn't so many of them like prior to 5 years ago.
Yes, and I don't understand how...
I don't know if they're tied at all together, but it just seems like they're more goof ups as their workforce is like weakened.
Well, you could definitely say that the quality of the product has gone down since they've started doing this. Like, stuff is not as good as it used to be. That's the most important thing. Like, I can forgive them leaking something every now and again by accident if, the set was actually cool and the cards are printed on good cardboard and they didn't bend right out of the package. Like, that's the thing for me. Like, if limited and standard is fun and my cards aren't damaged when I open them, it's hard for me to, like, complain about other stuff. That's the thing, is like you could go on with any agenda you want, or your agenda of like nepotism and social justice or whatever. If the game was like also fun and my cards weren't damaged, then it'd be a different story, right? I wouldn't care as much, and most people wouldn't care as much. You wouldn't have people like wanting Wizards' heads right now. And it really is what it comes down to is nepotism. Like, and the thing is like it's not only just physical characteristics, RC, because they wouldn't hire someone who has the correct physical characteristics if they didn't have the same philosophy, right?
Well, yeah, that's true too. They're looking for a certain thought process to go along with whatever type of mold the person.
Like this, for example, like content creator, Magical Tabletop Girls. I don't know his/her real name. It's a trans woman, so it's a man who, but she would what we would be calling based, I guess. She just went on a rant about how what she has is a mental illness.
What? Really?
Yeah. Like,
she admitted to this?
No. Yeah, she admits, she says that the people who are pushing this agenda are people who just use her mental illness as some sort of like trendy thing to be like cool and righteous about when
Well,
it's
that's
when it's actually something that should be like not praised and should be like considered illness and need help for.
oh, that's impressive. I've never seen a. I mean, I'll have to watch that video. I've never seen a transgendered
We
person talk about it so matter of factly like that.
Oh no, I think we should. I know this is kind of. I didn't bring this up before because surprise, we could watch it for the show right here, and I could just send you the link at some point in the show,
All right,
and
yeah.
we could watch it later if you want, RC. I know we are in the middle of recording, but I think it could be fun because I think you're interested by it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But anyway, I think we'll start with this Dominaria leak, and we're gonna go through the document and just pick out the parts we want to talk about and talk about them. So we're just gonna start at the top of the mechanics and the themes that they're doing and these saga cards.
Okay.
So I think these sagas are meant to represent the history of Magic, or at least the history of Dominaria.
Yeah, which is the main setting of Magic, or traditionally has been.
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, it was the only setting of Magic.
Yeah.
And then it became exclusively not the setting of Magic.
Yeah.
So
for about 10 years now, I think they've not been on Dominaria.
Yeah. So, it's lots of nostalgic stuff. I didn't play back then with Dominaria. Like, the first set I played was Scars of Mirrodin, which I guess kind of had some throwbacks to Dominaria because, like, Karn was there and stuff. And stuff. So, it's not that I know nothing. It's just, I'm not as versed as some people. Sure. So these saga cards on the whole, in my opinion, we can go through individual ones, but they seem pretty weak.
Okay.
They don't seem very good. They seem just like I'm okay with cards being flavorful and they don't have to be good, but it seems like they just printed a bunch of cards that are not good but are supposed to be flavorful, which I don't think is healthy for a set. But I could be wrong, depending on what it looks like. And then we have our theme of legendary permanence. If we go down, so there's going to be a legendary creature card in every pack. What do you think about that, RC?
Well, with Masters 25, I saw that they printed more uncommon legendary creatures, which they had technically done before, but it was not very common for them to do that. I do wonder, how are they going to do that with like distribution? Like, how can they guarantee legendary cards in every booster pack? I mean, are there that many uncommon legendary creatures that just by randomizing the cards, the odds of getting no legendary uncommon is? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
no, yeah, but I think the way they're going to do it, RC, is it'll be like flip cards at Innistrad, where it'll be like a separate print thing. So there'll be a slot in the pack that'll be in for these packs. That'll be a legendary creature slot, where only a legendary creature can appear in it.
So will this be a set where you think you can get two rares in the same pack?
Yes, I think that'll be it'll be a set where you can get two rares in the same pack.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, well,
this is just speculation. I don't think they've confirmed this for sure.
Yes,
about how it's going to work. But we do know. I'm pretty sure the only way they can guarantee a legendary in every pack is to have it take up a separate like rarity slot, basically. Okay. Yeah, so I think you'll be able to get like your rare plus, like you'll be able to open up your Mox Amber and your Joda Archmage Eternal as we move down the thing in the same pack. Stop me, does Joda interest you? It doesn't really interest me. It seems like whatever card to me. But this
well, the character of Joda, I remember reading about him a while ago because I like to read up on the characters from time to time, and I don't remember exactly who he was, but I think he was around at the time of like Ice Age and Alliances, like kind of around then.
Okay.
Well, the only thing, like, his card is like okay, I guess, but the thing I wonder about is like for Commander, is his color identity all 5 colors?
I think his color identity is all 5 colors because the way it's going to be printed is it's going to have all the mana symbols, and it's not going to say Wooburg. It's going to say the white mana symbol blue and so on.
Yeah.
So he will be a 5-color commander technically.
Okay, so he's like a guaranteed Fist of Suns, is what people.
Yeah,
Compare.
he's like fits the Suns on the sick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's all right, I guess, but that's not the type of card that excites me generally.
Okay.
But
Now this
I like
this
the character.
okay. All right. So
Yeah.
this next card now is like it's like Jace the Mind Sculptor unbanned level of petty from Wizards, in my opinion. So it's just like
This is the thing that'll be selling the set.
yeah, well, like this will be like, oh no, but the thing is like it'll be like, so imagine your Wizards, right? They're like, oh, nobody's playing Modern or Standard anymore. They just play EDH. They're like, oh, okay, let's just print our Mythic that's gonna be an auto include in every EDH deck
Right,
in
right.
the new set. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think this is fine. This is about the power level of what a Mox can be nowadays. If you're gonna make a card that has the word Mox in front of it, I would rather they just didn't do it anymore. Like the last good one was Mox Opal, sure.
Yeah.
And that one was good.
This goes well with Mox Opal.
It does go well with Mox Opal.
It'll be really cool in the affinity decks, like the modern affinity decks.
Well, they don't. Do they play any legendary creatures? I don't think they do.
No, but they have the Mox Opal, and I don't know, just like some sort of. I don't want to get off on that. I've already dug my whole.
Well, no, because okay. So the way the Mox Amber works is you have to have a legendary creature or planeswalker in play to be able to tap it for mana.
Not a legendary artifact. Gotcha.
No, yeah. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work alongside Mox Opal like that.
That's one of my weaknesses. I don't really read the entire card, and I do that a lot.
No, it's okay, man. I like correcting people, so we're a perfect match. So.
Yeah, so it's a balanced card. I see.
Yeah, it's a balance. I guess the power level it'll have will depend on the like it has to be the legendary creatures around it. Like if it's pretty good in a deck that can run like Isamaru, Hound of Kanda, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Like if you have like a 1-mana legendary creature that's really good, like it's pretty like having a free mana to cast whatever is also pretty good. So yeah. So now we move on to legendary sorceries.
Okay.
So these are sorceries that you can only cast if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker, not permanent. It has to be a creature or a planeswalker.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be like I'm guessing just like undercosted for what they do. For that reason. So like this first one, Urza's Ruinous Blast, so this is what I don't understand. Like it's a card called Urza. Is Urza in the set? Like I thought he was dead.
Well, I don't like. Okay, looking at the enchantment thing, it almost plays to me like when I read that mechanic, I almost think of like those suspend counters on like during Time Spiral block, where things are kind of like semi in reality, but not really, and they're like shifting in and out of like being on the battlefield. And that's kind of how I read this. Like maybe this is some sort of like ghost echo of something that had happened at one point in time. Like,
okay.
I mean, could you see where maybe Dominaria might be? It might have like shadows of the Time Spiral devastation and stuff, like still lingering on the plane. And this could be like one of those type of things.
No, I could definitely see that like this is like a remnant from the past. I just think it's kind of weird, especially for newer players. Because like when you start getting used to Magic, you start seeing a lot of spells that have the names of other characters in them.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're gonna look up Urza and be like, "Oh, who's Urza? That sounds cool." And they'll be like, "Oh, he's dead." And you're like, "Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, forget it." Maybe you know what? People probably introduced to Urza because of his uncard in the unset. So
yes,
there you go. Yeah, so maybe there we go for that. So in general, I wish they just I want them to print cards. It might be game breaking because but I want them to print cards like for a legendary sorcery or an instant or something like that. I wanted to say you can only play one of these a game.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Like you can play 4 in your deck, but once you cast a card named X or whatever, you can't cast another one. No matter how you do it.
Okay, so let's just if this card Urza's Ruinous Blast, which costs 4 and a white, if this card had that little line of text tacked onto it, what would you cost it at?
So if it instead said that instead of the if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker, I would want it to cost like 3.
Okay.
Uh, and that'd be it. Or like something like that'd be a way you could like a print like I would like to see like ancestral recall printed that way. Like an ancestral recall that said you can only play one of this card a game.
And what would the casting cost of that
One.
be?
It'd be one blue.
Oh, you would still make it a cost 1. Okay.
I like that's the thing is I think it might be broken, but I think it would be so cool. The thing is like we're due to have broken instants and sorceries in my opinion. The creatures are too good.
Okay.
In my opinion, like.
All right.
Like they even printed land elves as it says. It's one of the most powerful creatures ever printed. All right, now for one of the big topics. Sorry. Anything else you wanted to say about the legendary sorceries, RC?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so on to the new term, historic. I'm really hoping that this, from the look of it, it seems as though this is going to be a thing for the future, just like vehicles ended up being, which I think is stupid.
Yeah.
Like the fact that all artifacts, all legendaries, and these sagas are historic to me is, I don't understand. Like that just means like if all artifacts are historic, that just means that like I don't know, prophetic prism is historic, and like Thopter Copter or whatever is historic. Like it's not historic. You know what should have been historic? M25, but instead we got Rurikthar or something. Like stupid.
Yeah.
But I guess we can talk about this card. It's Joyra, which is a classic character.
Yeah, Joyra's cool.
Like her. I've seen a lot of broken commander decks using her original commander and time spiral block, where you can suspend any spell you want. But this one just seems like it's a classic card. Just draw a card whenever you cast an artifact, legendary, or a saga. So it would be good in a artifact deck. Most part, like you could just put it in a deck that has like a lot of planeswalkers, I guess. But I would like the easiest thing to do would just be to play a lot of cheap artifacts. You could draw a bunch of cards. So
I don't know how I feel about this card. I mean, it's cool, I guess, but it's not really. Joyra is such a important character, and
they didn't really give it that great of an ability for like what Joyra is, I guess.
Yeah, it needs something more. Like
I'm pretty sure there's an uncommon from like Scars of Mirrodin block that does most of what this is.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but I'm pretty sure there's a guy that's blue, and 2 for like a 2/2 or something. That says whenever you cast an artifact spell, draw a card.
Okay. Yeah.
Just basically what this says. Like I understand it has and the sagas and legendary cards, but come on, that's not stupid.
That might net you like 1.5 cards a game on average. I mean, just with having those extra 2 words tacked on.
Yeah. I think it's not well. Yeah, it's definitely better in this set where there's going to be legendary cards in every pack. But
yeah.
But in general, I don't think it's that great. I guess I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, and then Kicker's back. I don't want to spend too much time. Kicker is just you pay extra for the spell, and the spell does more stuff. I like the Kicker keyword. It's very simple, and it makes great gameplay in my opinion.
I like Kicker. It's a great mechanic.
Yeah. So no problems with Kicker being back. What do you think about the rule change now of the damage can't be redirected to planeswalkers anymore?
Well, if you could maybe explain this to me, because I do feel like you play more Magic than I do.
Okay.
Under the old rules, if you had a planeswalker, like you had a Jace out, and I was, and you were like at 3 life, and I was going to lightning bolt you to win the game. Under the old rules, you could say, I am instead going to redirect that damage to my Jace. Like you could make that decision.
No. The person using the lightning bolt gets to make the decision.
Under the old rules.
Under the old rules, yeah.
Okay, because player would player could be or a planeswalker could be a substitute for a player.
Yeah. So basically, what it was. So I actually am in favor of this rule change.
Okay.
So the way it worked before was, say you had a Liliana of the Veil in play, and your opponent goes lightning bolt targeting you.
Yeah.
Right. If you're a newer player, first say, and you don't know the rules as well, they'll be like, "Oh, they're just targeting me with my lightning bolt. I'll let it resolve if you have a counter spell in hand or something."
Yeah.
So we'll make it a blue planeswalker. Let's say it's a Jace.
Okay.
Whatever. So you have a counter spell to protect it, and they go lightning bolt you. You go, oh, okay, they're just lightning bolting me. I don't care. Then they go and then after the spell resolves is when they say, "I'll redirect to Jace."
Okay.
And then the damage would go to the planeswalker instead. So it takes away just a tiny. It doesn't happen a lot, I'll be honest, but it does take away a little bit of angle shooting that people can do to newer players, which I am in favor of. And basically, they're going to have to. They are so part of this rule change is they are errataing or putting errata on like a lot of cards. Like I think it's like over 800 or something.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So basically, any card that used to say target creature or player will now just say any target. So now you can just target planeswalkers with burn spells now.
Okay.
What this does mean, I'm pretty sure, is stuff that just did damage incidentally can't be redirected to planeswalkers anymore. So like, what used to, because say a creature was like 3 red for a 1/1, that when it comes into play, it does 3 damage to target player.
Okay.
You used to be able to redirect that to a planeswalker if you wanted to, but I'm pretty sure the way this works now is it'll just be player. Like it's not going to let you do it to a planeswalker anymore.
Oh, that's kind of confusing.
Yes.
So some cards change, but some cards don't, even though the wording is the same on the way the cards are currently printed.
Yes. It's going to be a little confusing for a while. But the thing is I am in favor of the change as a whole, just because it's just the way it should have always been.
Yeah.
And I don't see it. I don't like the excuse of like, oh, well, we didn't do it for long enough, so we're just going to keep it the worst way. Like, no, just change it, and then we'll figure it out after that. So, yeah, I agree. It will be confusing, and but I think in the long run it'll be good. Well, hopefully we get to the long run, but the way Wizards is going.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So we're good on that. They're bringing back, I guess, Wizard Tribal. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
We got this Wizard's Lightning card, which is it's a lightning bolt if you control a wizard. If not, it costs 3.
All right.
And then we got so do you say Jaya or Jaya?
I always said like, what do I say, Jaya or Jaya Ballard? Jaya Ballard.
I say Jaya.
Yeah.
So Jaya is Immolating Inferno. This is one of those legendary sorceries. So you can only cast it if you have a legendary creature or planeswalker, and it deals X damage. 2 red and X deal X damage to up to 3 targets. So that's any creature, player, or planeswalker. I think that's pretty good.
That's actually a good card. Yeah, that's a very good card.
That's a limited bomb. If you open that in limited,
yeah,
take that. That card will win you some games. I'm not going to go over this dumb Chandra. I'm pretty sure it's just like one of those dual deck Chandras.
Yeah, Chandra is good.
Like it's not going to be in the set. Like it'll just be one of those like things they trick new players into spending their money on. And I do like this Fire Song and Sun Speaker.
Yeah, it's like a cool card for like at least for Commander, but also just a powerful card.
Yeah, it lets you like run like a red-white instant and sorcery deck as opposed to like a token deck or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
Like I always think that like that color combination needs more stuff to do in Commander because like if you're not playing blue, what are you doing? You know, that's how I kind of feel about Commander. Like it can be fun, but you're not going to win as many games. My favorite part about this card is like what happens when you cast like Lightning Helix targeting something. So like it does 3 damage, you gain 3 life, and then he does another 3 damage because of the trigger. But then you also gain life from the Lightning Helix, so you do another 3 damage from that.
Yeah.
So like I'm pretty sure it gains you 6 life if you because it's not like Lightning Helix has a lifelink by itself, so it'll gain you 6. Be cool.
Yeah, you'll gain 6 life, and you'll be able to deal 3 damage twice, right?
Yeah, 3 damage twice plus the 3 you deal from the Lightning Helix.
Yeah, that's
powerful. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, okay. So, and then we move down to so they're getting rid of the words mana pool from cards.
Really?
So like Llanowar Elves just said tap add green is what it says now. Not the term mana pool will still exist in the rules.
Okay.
But they're just removing it from cards. I'm guessing they had some research that said this confused people. I don't know. To me, that doesn't really matter. This next one, though, a little interesting. So Magic has adopted, quote, they as the preferred third-person singular pronoun. Just so you know, they is not a singular pronoun. For a player, replacing he or she.
Uh-huh.
And if you're like a normal human being, you might ask yourself, RC,
yes,
what can you be other than a he or a she? But as we've seen on Tumblr, there's
we're gonna speak about this for the next 20 minutes. We're gonna go. I actually think this is like a kind of a wimpy, cowardly move on Wizards' part because I mean they're only kind of meeting people halfway. I think if they really wanted to do some good signaling, they would opt for Z and
Zer. Yeah, it should be Z and Zer.
I think that would be better. Yeah.
You know what, RC? You are correct. In the name of diversity, we have to appeal to Z and Zer. And if we watch that video later of the trans woman,
yeah,
she makes the point like, I don't want to play it. You've removed women from the cards. It's like you did all this time. You want to include women, but now you've removed women to appeal to wackos. So,
well, that's a good point. Yeah, there are no more female pronouns on any cards.
Yeah, no one's female anymore. So,
and we can't even know if they're females based on the artwork because people choose to identify however they want.
Exactly, and you can't even tell. We can't even tell their biological stuff because all the women are now wearing burqas. So,
right,
because we're so progressive. All right, we don't have to talk about this yet, but I'm just saying it is just a stupid move by Wizards, and it's like the fact that they are proud of this when they're they're a cardboard company that can't make cardboard that doesn't bend, and it's awful. So it just a sign. It's like a sign of like when like Rome was declining. You know, it's like one of those like when you read the like one of like those parallels between now and the fall of Rome. It's like one of those like this is what happens when you see something that's failing.
Yeah. We could actually that would be a great idea for an episode. Is just focusing solely on the parallels of modern day society and the fall of the Roman Empire. And to some degree, Weimar Germany, which is something I know less about, but apparently that was Germany leading up to World War II. Same type of crap was going on with the degenerate society, and I don't know. That'd be cool to do that.
Nope.
Did you want to talk about Llanowar Elves at all? One of your favorite cards?
Well, it's not even like one of my favorite cards. It's a card they said they wouldn't print in Standard again, or they most likely wouldn't. Just because, not even because of the Dominaria thing, but because it's too powerful. I know you don't play a lot of competitive Magic, RC, but in Standard, a 1 mana accelerant is broken. Like the last time we had it, it was way too good.
When was the last time we had that?
We had Elvish Mystic, and having that in like the red
M13 or M14.
M15.
M15, okay.
I think it wasn't like broken, but it led to playing in a way that Standard wasn't as fun. It's just the fact that you can get the 3 mana on turn 2. Like there's already stuff in like Standard right now. Like there's that guy, the 3 mana guy that explores twice. Like I imagine just playing that guy on turn 2, that's got to be insane.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I don't really spend too much time on it, but I'm assuming Llanowar Elves will be a staple in Standard.
Sure.
I do like the new art.
I haven't seen it.
It's okay. It's not as good as the old art. I like the one where it's like the buff guy with like the sword.
Oh, wait. This is the one where like it's like a girl and she's like crossing her swords in front of her face.
Yeah. Well, there's like
Okay.
three of the elves. There's elves in the background too. I
Yeah.
guess it makes more sense because the card's called Land of War Elves
No,
plural.
yeah.
But I like the buff guy with the sword. But we can't have masculine people anymore in Magic, so
I know this is like such a stupid thing to like rag on, but like they said they didn't like the fact they didn't like naming cards after like plural entities. They wanted each card to represent individual like characters, which is why they got rid of Llanowar Elves and instead made Elvish Mystic. Okay, that's fine, but like why do they always go back on their little promises that they make?
I think it's just because this is Dominaria and Land of War Elves makes sense finally, because the only way you could do Land of War Elves was in a core set because all the other planes didn't have Land of War. It wouldn't make sense to print a Land of War Elves.
Okay. All right. They're always contradicting themselves. They'll say one thing, they're like, we're going to stick to this, and this is our standard. And within like 2 or 3 years, they're going back on it. And I mean, the only thing that bothers me about it is that they just can't stay true to their word. Like, I don't care if they print Llanowar Elves or not print Llanowar Elves, but like, their word is becoming like less and less something I can believe in.
The only word you can believe in, I guess, is the reserve list. So take that. You can take that to the bank. I'll say.
All right.
So I don't really want to talk about this card, Homerid Explorer.
Yeah.
It does look like a crab person from South Park.
Yes, you posted that online.
Yeah. Do you know anything about homirids? Like I've never even heard of a homirid. Really?
Okay. They're a race of sentient crab crustacean people that were around in Separdia, I think is the name of the area where Fallen Empires takes place. And there were some war going on between the homirids and the merfolk during that era, like the Fallen Empires era. So I think in the block of Fallen Empires, every color had two races or two entities that were fighting over something.
Oh,
And
okay.
in blue, it was merfolk and homirids, and in green, it was like elves and thalids, and black was the Order of the Ebon Hand and the Thralls, and then white was I don't yeah. So every color combination had a
sure.
duality there. So yeah, it's a little known race of, or not often used race of creature in Magic.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's nostalgic for people. So, and then we got this Wizard's Retort card. It's counter. It's just straight counterspell if you control a wizard.
Yeah.
So whatever. I'm sure it'll be good. If Wizards is a deck, I'm sure it'll see play. We got the Innistrad Checklands back. I guess that's cool. I'm sure they'll have updated art. Excited
Yeah,
for
that's
that.
cool. That is cool. I like these lands. I like these well balanced like dual lands. I like them.
Yeah, they're not too powerful, not too weak. They're just good.
Yeah.
So more wizard themed stuff. I'm just gonna keep scrolling. I'm gonna pass Academy Journey Mage. More wizard stuff. Animus. If you want to scroll down and like find okay. So do we want to talk about the Antiquities War, this saga?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, based on these card notes, we're not really seeing the rarity of these cards, and like some of how I would judge these cards would be based on their rarities. For example, something called the Antiquities War, in my mind should be a mythic rare, but I don't know what the rarity of this card is going to be.
I'm hoping it's not a mythic rare because this card sucks.
Well, then they really wasted the name of a great card on a mediocre card.
Oh wait, no, this isn't the one I was thinking of. This card's better than a lot of the other sagas, but it's a lot like, no. This is like the only one I think is good. Okay. So you should like this one too because it's kind of like Tezzeret Agent of Bolus.
Yeah, which is a really powerful card in my opinion.
Yeah. It's his +1 and his it's Tezzeret Agent of Bolus's +1, and then it's the original Tezzeret's ultimate.
Ultimate,
yeah, on a card, which I think is cool. Like you get I like the fact that like I wasn't around during Antiquities, obviously, but. I was watching MTG Purple, and he was describing this card, and he's been around for a while, and he was like so excited, like, "Oh man, this just sounds like Mishra and Urza. They just go out and go find any artifact power they can on all of Dominaria." That's what the first two parts symbolize, and then the third part symbolizes them just shoving them all at each other in a big war. I'm like, okay, that seems pretty flavorful.
Yeah,
Plus,
okay, I could see that.
you
I
know,
mean, I hope the artwork on these cards, these saga cards, is what I was kind of like hinting at earlier with like them being kind of like ghost events that have happened in the past and they're kind of like echoing in the present. Like I would like to see I would like to see instead of an actual visual representation of the Antiquities War, I would like to see like a ghost Urza and a ghost Mishra fighting with like dragon engines, but it's all like uh they'll look like phantasms. I think that would make sense because the Antiquities War spanned like hundreds of years, and it's an enchantment that just dies in 3 turns. So I'd like the art to kind of match up with what the card is showing, if possible. We'll see.
yeah, no, I agree. So and like I think that would make sense. See, the thing is that sounds cool, but I can guarantee they're not going to do it because it sounds cool. Uh, in that the like because Dominaria is supposed to be like almost a broken plane, because it was like ravaged by the mending. I'm pretty sure it was called, where
Yeah.
like the planeswalkers like gave up their power to like save the plane or something.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and Dominaria was like left ravaged, and that's why we never had any action there for a while.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it would make sense if there were like ghosts of like Urza and Mishra like attack. Like, it'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, not sentient, but just like images
Yeah,
of them that just
yeah,
like
yeah.
appear and disappear. And
Like it left such an impression on the plane that like there's just phantasms that like roam the plane that do this kind of, that would be cool.
that would be cool.
Um,
Yeah.
all right, and now we got Arvad the Cursed. It's a vampire that Death Touch and Lifelink and gives your other legendary creatures +2/+2. I don't know what the flavor is to this guy. Like why he gives legendaries +2/+2. Like how is that cursed? Like I don't. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like he's cursed, but he like gives that doesn't. All right, whatever.
Well,
But
Krovax was cursed, and he got +1/+1 counters. Baron Sengir was like a legendary vampire who could eat other creatures and give himself +2/+2. So, but I don't know. I guess it would depend on the artwork to see like what are they trying to call back to here.
sure.
I don't know.
I'm hoping the artwork is just amazing. The thing is, with all this like digital artwork, it just sucks so much. Like that's the one thing when I watch like older sets get opened, the art is just so much better. Like there's just so much cool stuff,
Yeah.
unique stuff, And I like this guy, the Arya or girl probably.
All right.
I think I'm gonna guess this is a female knight.
Okay.
But I do like the card, at least. I don't know how, like,
white. So this one's white black, and so was the previous one, right?
Yeah, but this one's a human, and it has vigilance, and you can pay 2 and a white to tap and make a 2/2 knight,
Okay.
and then you can black tap it, and then tap X, untap knights you control, and destroy target creature with power X or less.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right.
So it's like a knight tribal card. So it has vigilance, though, so you can attack and still make knights and do the other ability. Like I think that's cool, and I'm hopeful. If it were up to me, this would have like anime art of like like a big titty girl in like armor like fighting. But I know it's just gonna be like a burqa girl.
Yeah, well, if you want the anime modification, I'm sure you can take it to any
any creep
have somebody modified for you. Yeah.
Sure. But I like that guy. That's cool. It makes you want to build a knight ED. Like that's what I'm saying. There's some good stuff in this set.
Yeah, this will be a cool commander. Like I don't know if it'd be tier 1, but it's cool. It's a powerful.
The thing is, like, I would want to play commander with people who aren't competitive because I want to play something like this. Like I don't want to have to play like Azami or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I know. Unfortunately, the environment I've been subjected to with EDH and commander has been very competitive.
Yeah,
so a deck like using a commander like this would not be allowed to thrive. But this is the type of deck I like to play.
For sure.
Cool.
All right, so we got Baird, Steward of Argive. Argive. Do you recognize the name Argive?
Argive. Yes. Argive was I think that's where Urza was trained maybe when he was when he was a little boy. Him and Mishra, they were, or it was like a city or something that he like lived in at some point. Him
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, I don't know. It's from like the Brothers War era of Magic.
Okay. Well, I like this card as well. Just a nice little taxing effect in white. It's got vigilance, so it's whatever. Like this to me, this is like a card that could just not be legendary, but I think they made it legendary because of the nature of the set.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay,
Befuddle, I'm think is a reprint. I was told. Uh,
okay.
so that's whatever. This card's cool. 3 white for a 3/3. Other creatures you control get +1/+1.
That's
Like,
yeah, that's strong.
and it's a knight, so it goes in your knight tribal deck
That's cool.
for your commander. It also has 3 white for devotion to white. So
Very cool. Yeah.
this is a card. Okay, so I only know about Dak and Blackblade because I have a friend who loved Dak and Blackblade, and I think it's cool that
Yeah,
they
that
made
was
this
some of the
card.
most badass art in the early days of Magic was Dak and Blackblade.
Uh, so this is the Blackblade Reforged, which is a legendary equipment. So it's Dakin's Blackblade,
Cool.
and it gives you the Dakin Blackblade ability, which he had power and toughness equal to the number of lands you controlled. And this gives you +1/+1 for each land you control. And the thing is, it has a different equip cost whether you're equipping a legendary or not.
Oh,
So
that is really cool. Yeah.
yeah, so basically saying unless you're like a really cool guy, right, it's going to take a lot for you to be able to wield the Blackblade.
Yeah.
You know?
And the Blackblade kind of looks like Cloud's oversized anime sword from Final Fantasy VII. Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
I'm excited to see the art for this card.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so Blink of an Eye is just into the Royal from Zendikar block, but like the Royal is a Zendikar only thing, so I guess they needed to rename this card.
Gotcha.
So now you can play 8 of them in Modern if you want, I guess.
Ooh.
We got Goblins.
Mhm.
And it's just whenever you cast, so we got a 2/2 Goblin for 2, so it's a bear, and it gets +1/+1 in Menace if you kick a spell. So depending on what the kicker spells are in this set, that could be good.
Okay, if you were to guess at the rarity of this card, what would you say it would be?
I'm gonna go with uncommon.
Yeah, unfortunately, I would guess the same, but I think it would make a very powerful common.
I think it could be a common. I think there's a decent chance.
It'd be nice if it was common.
Excuse me. Ooh, I like this card, Broken Bond. It's a sorcery speed naturalize or disenchant. Well, naturalize because it's green.
Mm-hmm.
And it ramps you, puts a land from your hand onto the battlefield.
Yeah, this is your type of card, man.
Yeah, because it's like a 2-for-1. Or like for me,
this is a very good card. This might be one of the best cards in the set. I'm looking at this is a very good card, Broken Bond.
You think so?
I think it's a very good card. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we got another Saga card, Chainer's Torment. This card's dumb. This is a stupid this is the start of like the Saga cards that I think are retarded and shouldn't be in the set. Like the first 2 things is basically nothing, and the third thing would probably just kill you.
Or half. Okay. Yeah. So first, for turns 1 and 2 after you cast it, it will deal 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. And it doesn't say you gain life equal to the amount of life lost. It's just you gain 2 life. So even if you're playing a multiplayer game, you only gain 2 life. And then the third mode on turn 3 is you create an XX Black Nightmare Horror creature token, where X is half of your life total, rounded up. It deals X damage to you. So, I mean, it costs 4 mana for that. And so I couldn't even make the argument that maybe you can play it in like Death's Shadow decks or something like that when it costs 4 mana.
If this card costed 1, I still think it'd be bad. If it was just like 1 black,
I wouldn't. Yeah, I really wouldn't want to play it at 1 black mana, but like at 4, it's just garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it.
This is your Planeswalker deck, Chandra again. Get rid of that. Charge, whatever. Who cares? Crew.
Charge is an elegant card. It's got a nice, quick, short name, cheap mana cost, and a good effect. This isn't a very elegant Magic card. It's not good, but it's elegant.
All right, I can get behind that. Corrosive Ooze. You gotta love an ooze. I don't like cards like this because I think it just feel bads for newer players in Limited because they're just not gonna read this card. and they're just gonna get they're gonna get their Black Blade destroyed or something in limited, and they're gonna be like, oh, like because I'm sure this card's like a common.
Yeah.
So
I
I
thought it
don't
was a
know.
better card for like M10 maybe, like when they were trying to get all the kinks worked out of like making very flavorful cards. I feel like a card like this is kind of past its prime. It's like even though this is a new card, it just doesn't feel like new design.
Mm-hmm. Curator's Ward. I think this card's stupid. Uh, yeah, I'm not talking about that card. Damping Sphere. Uh, could definitely see play in older formats. So it fights against lands that produce more than one mana per tap,
Okay.
and it also is a Thorn of Amethyst, basically, or even better, really.
All right. Do you think it was smart of them to make that cost 2, or do you think it should cost 1?
No, 2 is where it should be. For modern, that's plenty fast enough. And for legacy, I don't think it's going to see that much play. So,
Okay.
I think it's meant for modern.
All right.
Okay. Dargaz reincarnated. I'm assuming Dargaz is one of those old legendary dragons.
Yes, he's the Jund colored dragon from Invasion block. So during that block, there were 5 different dragons, each with like a shard color that they were associated with, and they were the elemental manifestations of Dominaria, trying to fight back the Phyrexians. So he's the Jund one.
All right, well that's cool. I do like how it has egg counters. I love when they give like unusual names for counters.
Yeah,
I do like that. It's basically like a suspend card. It like suspends itself every time it dies.
yeah, that's kind of cool. I used to have a deck. I used to have a deck back in the day with 2 or 3 Dargazes in them, and it used like all these like multicolored Jund creatures before Shards of Alara block, and I don't know. I liked it. It was like a stupid little janky deck, but he was like one of the characters I liked from that period of Magic. So it's cool that he gets a card again.
I think this next card is like just good enough to see play. Dark Bargain, 3 and a black. It's an instant, so you can play at the end of their turn. Look at the top 3, put 2 in your hand, and the other into your graveyard, and it deals 2 damage to you. So it's like a black impulse kind of thing, I guess.
Okay.
Which gets you more cards, and black always has to pay something for their cards. So, and only 2 damage isn't that bad. So, I think this card could see play.
Okay, let me ask you this. I like the design of Dark Bargain. Do you think that's more or less powerful than like a Preordain?
It's way less powerful than a Preordain.
Okay, well, would a Preordain scries for 2?
It's scry 2, draw a card, Preordain.
Scry 2, draw. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I think it's a sorcery, but it only costs 1. So,
right. But this will draw you 2 cards.
Yeah, but it costs 4 mana. It takes way longer to play.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Well, I understand that. It's just, but with this type of card, you're not usually playing it on curve, and you're like waiting for your opponent to end their turn, so then you can play the card, get your effect, then start your turn for like a big turn.
Oh, I mean, I think it's meant to be. It's almost a blue card. Like it's meant to be played with blue. I think like at least cards like this, because you want to be able to counter a spell or something, or hold up a counter spell, and then they go, "Oh, he's going to counter my spell, so I'll just pass." But at the end of the turn, you just get to do this and just keep gaining your advantage.
Yeah. Right.
This next guy I like a lot, the Dauntless Bodyguard.
Yeah.
He's a Savannah Lions. Like I think this guy's probably like a common or an uncommon too.
It's an uncommon. I think the visual image of the card has been posted online already.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so this guy's an uncommon. Yeah. That's cool. So
it's the girl with the she's got her head shaved on either side, with like the kind of like the faux hawk thing.
Oh, ew.
If you've seen that, artwork,
I have not seen it. No.
Right. That's Dauntless Bodyguard. Yeah.
Well, that sounds awful. But I do like the card and what it does.
No, the card is designed well. Yeah.
Like you choose another creature. Like the whole point of it is like you have a bunch of legendary creature cards in the set, right? So basically, he chooses or she chooses someone to protect and protects them. Like I think that's cool. Deep Freeze is just a blue. I do like how it turns something into a wall. I miss walls. I want walls to make a comeback. Demonic Vigor, that card sucks. So this is like the most like Dungeons and Dragons named guy I've ever seen in my life.
Oh wow!
Demon Lord Belzenlock. Like it literally sounds like something like that guy made up in like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be like the demon. He's the Demon Lord.
Oh, he's an elder demon. Wow.
Yeah, okay. They put elder in the creature type, and his name is Belzenlock. I wonder if this is one of the demons that Liliana owes her pack to.
It really seems like it based on the name and the stats.
Yeah. But I don't know. So
he can draw you a ton of cards. That's his like little ability.
Yeah, like I don't know. It is a 6/6 flying trample for 6. It's not bad. In limited at least. Yeah. I don't think this card's going to see play in outside of EDH and limited though.
No, I think in EDH though he'd draw you a ton of cards.
Yeah, he could. Definitely could.
Yeah.
Drudge Sentinel. This card's cool. It's a great blocker. Yeah, I love these kind of cards. I hate the name of this card.
God, yeah.
Dub, like it's named Dub.
Dub.
Like it becomes a knight, and it shouldn't be a knight. It should like become legendary. I think that would be cooler. I get that like you want to have knight tribal, but like I think it'd be cooler for it become a legendary creature. That'd be cooler.
Is that the name? Is that the actual word for like when you do the thing where you put the swords on you tap the sword on the shoulder? That's called dubbing.
Yeah, I dub the Sir
Elton John.
Yeah, Elton John, Paul McCartney.
Yeah. Okay, all right. It just sounds stupid. The word dub sounds stupid there.
Yeah, so I'm just skipping over that. This card is bananas. Okay, this card is awesome. Oh, sorry, I sound like Evan Irwin for a second. I'm not gonna say bananas anymore.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I just had 3 more kids, and I'm leaving the state tomorrow. Oh my god.
Oh my god. I'm leaving my wife, marrying my work girlfriend, moving to Florida. Okay. 3. He's like 3 women. Seriously,
any further south, it's just the ocean. Stuck, man.
He's gotta go to Cuba next.
I'm gonna take a Disney cruise to the Bahamas. Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry. That's RC has a great impression of serial adulterer Evan Irwin. But you know. All right, but anyway, Evra, Halcyon Witness. Right. I don't know what Halcyon is, who Evra is, or what she's witnessing, but you can exchange your life total with its power, and it has lifelink.
Ah, cool.
So you can pay 4, and if you're at 20, it becomes a 24, and if it hits something, you just gain the 20 right back.
Oh, geez. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it costs 6, but, like, this has got... If they can't... Okay, so if you're playing Limited and they can't kill this card, you just win. Like, it is just... Like, it's got to be amazing.
All right, I would put her in the deck, in the Commander deck, using the red, white, and Minotaurs we were talking about earlier that do the life gain and the damage thing. And I would just, like... I would pump her and then fling her and then, you know, try to win that way. That could be, like, a...
Oh my god, yeah, that'd be so good. Like, because fling does the damage, not the creature.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter because they both have lifelink. So like your fling would have lifelink. Oh man, that'd be so good. Oh, RC, you're a genius.
All right, we'll have to isolate that sound clip.
Mike, if you remember, you said I'm a genius. Anyway, okay. So we got another Saga. This one's awful. Yeah, it's really bad.
Each opponent discards a card, put target creature or planeswalker from a graveyard on the battlefield under your control. Now, I'm wondering, why is it called the Eldest Reborn? I wonder what the art is depicting and what little mini story in Magic's history is it supposed to be showing.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is supposed to be. All I know is we've had 5-mana cards before that there's There's like a Rise from the Grave card that can bring back a creature. I get this can bring back a Planeswalker, but it takes you 3 turns after you cast it for 5.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it gives you time to set up for it, but it also gives your opponent time to set up for it. So I don't,
Yeah.
Fall of the Thran. I do recognize Thran from the name Thran Dynamo.
Yeah.
It's like a crappy Armageddon, I guess.
Oh God, it sucks. Yeah, that card sucks.
Yeah. So I'm saying these sagas are bad, man.
And naming it Fall of the Thran, that should have an epic effect.
Yeah, I mean, I guess destroying all lands is an epic effect. Like, not a lot of stuff does that, but then it just like resets the game, which
but
is
don't
stupid.
worry, you're gonna get some of those lands back next turn. I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, actually, I could see a deck playing that in standard if the standard is right, but not really.
Yeah.
Fight with Fire. So we got a kicker spell. It does 5 damage to target creature, but if it's kicked, so if you pay 6 plus, if you play 9 mana total, it's 10 damage divided any way you choose.
That's like an uncommon. I think that's
yeah,
I'm
assuming it's got to be like a common or an uncommon.
Yeah,
it's very fair. Moving on, Fire Fist Adept, another Wizard Tribal, whatever. This is the same one. Apparently, it's the buy box promo. This
cool.
lifelink guy.
All right, this is the one you want to make the deck with.
Yeah. The First Eruption. This card is awful.
What an erotic name.
First. He's like, I remember my first eruption.
Went half across the room.
I had no idea what happened. Anyway, so 3 mana, it comes in and does 1 damage to each creature without flying. Who cares?
Yeah.
The second time it adds 2 red, and the third time you have to sacrifice a mountain, and it'll deal 3 damage. So when you use your 2 red to cast a creature, it'll just die the next turn when you have to sacrifice your mountain.
Don't play this card. This card sucks. Don't play it.
Yes. Here's the Flame of Keld. I've heard of Keld before.
Yeah.
I do like this card. I understand that you discard your hand and then you says draw 2, but like just to see that just says draw 2 cards on a red card.
That's cool.
It's a little weird. Like I understand it's balanced because you have to discard your hand as soon as it comes into play. Yeah. So I'm guessing you drop this as the last card in your hand, so you don't have to discard anything.
Yeah, in a red deck, it's so easy to just spend your hand and then play this as last.
This is not one of the worst sagas, no. But I actually like this one. But I mean, if they were all like this, it'd be nice. But
yeah, this will be like this is a rare card that'll be like 99 cents.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's a cool effect.
If there's a mono red deck in standard, I'm assuming it'll play that.
Sure.
Because like the third, yeah. So yeah, you just played in a red deck, and what you do is you after it's like a burn deck, so you draw burn spells, and then your burn spells are 2 plus whatever the burn spells are. Okay, that one's not bad. Forebear's Blade, I think it's cool. It's like a fine equipment for limited. Because whenever the creature whenever they kill the creature, you just get to equip it for free.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's fine. This card is whatever, the Fungal Infection. I don't care. They're reprinting Gaia's Blessing. I hate that card. Gaia's Protector, it's a 4/2. It must be blocked if able. Okay. This is stupid. It's not even lure. It's not even all creatures have to block it. It's a 4/2, so it dies to a 2/2 bear. I don't understand. Whatever. Darna, the Blood Flame, has flash. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you return your hand all creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from any. That one's cool.
Now, so does this have to do with that crappy Great Designer Search question where he was like, "Oh, which one of these cards? Like, what color would it be if it was a 4/4 Vigilance thing?" Because this is a black-red card that has flash.
Oh yeah, what? Wait, what? Why does this black-red card have flash?
I mean, this is Mark Rosewater's like latest scheme of how Magic card design should work based on that great designer search question, which everybody disagrees with. But here you go, a black-red creature with flash for no reason at all.
Yeah, why is this? I thought this creature was just white based on the effect.
Right.
Like this should be a white-red creature, not a black-red creature. Like, because other creatures you control have haste, that's red.
Yeah.
And return, that's not a black ability. Like, black returns stuff from the graveyard, but not, like, white has cards that does that already, like, consistently. Yeah, I hate this card. Forget it. Like, I think it's a good card. Because obviously the way it was meant to work is they like sweep or whatever, and you get your creatures back, and then they have haste when you cast them the next turn.
Yeah.
That's good, but it's stupid that it's black red. Oh, and I'm looking. Where's my black green Sarah Angel, Mark Rosewater? It's every set from till the day Magic dies. I'll be asking for a black green Sarah Angel.
Sarah Angel, yeah.
Yeah. Where is it?
He promised.
Yeah, you promised us. Because that's what Magic does, right? We do black green Sarah Angels. All right. It's a stupid wizard card.
Lava Runner. 1 red for a 1/2. As long as there are 2 more instant sorcery cards in your graveyard, it gets +1/+0 in haste. And I don't know. Could that go in Delver? Could that go in a Delver deck?
No, because the Monastery Swift Spears is better.
Yeah. Okay. Figured I'd ask.
Yeah, it's not good. Maybe for standard, if like a standard is weak enough to play that. Gift of Growth. That one's not bad. For like a common pump spell. Oh, okay. I like this Goblin Barrage thing. So it does 4 damage to target creature, but if you sacrifice an artifact or a goblin, so one of those two,
yeah,
it does 4 to a player or a planeswalker. That's cool.
I hope that's a common card. That would be useful.
Yeah.
Hopper.
Yeah. Goblin Chain Whirler.
Okay.
When it enters the battlefield, does 1 damage each opponent, each creature and planeswalker they control. Oh, so it's only opponents. That's not bad for.
Okay.
And it has first strike. So it's 3/3 first strike for 3.
Yeah, that's not a bad card.
Goblin War Chief. That's a cool goblin.
He's good. Yeah.
Grand
Warlord Rada. She's
Rada. Yeah, I remember Rada Heir to Kel, the green red elf. Says okay. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, this one does like the same thing but better.
Yeah, she's adding red and green mana.
Red and green mana, and in any combination for when creatures you attack, and then you don't lose the mana. So in your second main phase, you can just use it, and it's haste.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Oh, I see this guy. This guy's I can't wait to see the art on this guy. I hope it's good. Grun the Lonely. He's an ape, dude.
He's an ape. Yeah.
Need some more apes in Magic. If you kick him, he gets 5+++ encounters, and whenever he attacks alone, you double. So he could be a 20/20 by himself.
Oh, that's neat. Okay.
And they got an Elf Archer here, Halar, the Fire Fletcher. I guess depending on what the kicker cards are, this card can be good.
Yeah.
But we'll say. I hate the stupid red random cards. Like, stop giving. I understand red could do random things, but it's still stupid.
I planned on buying booster packs of this set. I would get like 8 copies of this card.
Oh, I'm sure that if I end up buying any of this set, I probably won't. But if I buy any of this set, I will open so many haphazard bombardments. Because like the thing is, the random thing has to be rare because it's random, but it's always bad.
Yeah.
Healing Grace, they just made Healing Salve better. So there's that.
Okay.
Helm of the Host. I like this card. It just basically it's like a free Kiki Jiki on the thing every turn of whatever it's equipped.
Okay.
And if the thing has an enter battlefield ability, you get that. So I think that's cool. And it's an equipment, so you can move it around. History of Benalia. This card, whatever, sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Howling Golem. I'm guessing it's a reference to Howling Mine because it lets each player draw a card whenever it attacks or blocks. Icy Manipulator reprinted. I wonder what art they're going to use.
It's cool.
In Bolus's clutches, so I'm guessing Bolus shows up in this set. We've spoiled some of the story, I guess.
Surprise. Yeah.
So apparently you control a permanent, and the enchanted permanent is legendary. I'm wondering what the flavor of that is. Like, so whatever what is he controlling that's not legendary that he makes legendary? I'm wondering. In the story,
zombie token.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm rooting every set. I root for Bolas to kill the entire Gatewatch. So I almost got it with Amonkhet, but I knew they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you're gonna be waiting a long time for that one, I think.
Yeah, I know it's not gonna happen. But I just want them all dead. And then Garrett can lead a new one, an actual strong person character.
You think? Just as quick aside here, do you think Nicol Bolas in a fight between like Nicol Bolas and the Phyrexians, which one would win?
At this point, I think Nicol Bolas.
Okay.
Just because he has so much at his disposal now. I think the plan is now, because he controls a portal now, a planar portal, because of Kaladesh, he can now unleash the Phyrexians onto any plane he chooses.
The Phyrexians or zombie horde, you mean?
Both.
Both.
He could just take the portal to New Phyrexia, and then open it up to whatever plane he wishes to infect Phyrexians with.
Yeah.
Infect with Phyrexians, I mean.
What about the Eldrazi? Do you think Nicol Bolas versus the Eldrazi? Who do you think is more powerful?
I think the Eldrazi, but
you do. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? No, because the Gatewatch was able to defeat the Eldrazi, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. My gut tells me that the Phyrexians are the most powerful, but they do lack the ability to planeswalk. So I don't know.
True, which is why I think they wanted Karn so badly, but now that Karn escaped their clutches.
Yeah, but they were able to get Venser. So I mean, could they take Venser's body apart and figure out how to?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm assuming. I don't know if. I don't know.
Glissa also had a Planeswalker Spark at one point.
Yeah, maybe.
Corrupted her. I don't know. It would be cool. It would be a cool twist. I'd like to see somebody like as powerful as Bolas, like kind of give him a run for his money. Not the Gatewatch, I mean.
I guess that was supposed to be Ugin, maybe eventually. That he's back.
Yeah,
so,
maybe.
I don't know. The Bolas got the best of him last time they fought. So.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go down to this Jaya Ballard Planeswalker.
Yeah, I want that card. That's a good card.
Yeah, I like this card. Like this. Oh, she goes in the red white instant and sorcery deck.
Yeah, there you go.
Like you say I'm joking about that, but it would be actually good.
It would be a cool deck. Yeah, I want one for Cube because the only red Planeswalker I have right now is Chandra Torch of Defiance, and I think Jaya Ballard would be on an equal power level there.
What about Koth of the Hammer? You don't like him?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I have Koth of the Hammer. Yeah, okay. I guess she'd be my third red Planeswalker.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, I didn't mean to call you out there. I like Koth's my favorite red Planeswalker, so.
He's cool. Yeah. No, thank you for knowing
that. Anyway, Joyra's familiar I'm skipping everything that references historic spells.
Okay.
I'm good. Thank you. Juggernaut's back. I wonder what art they'll use.
Cool.
Kamel's Druidic Vow. It's just the worst Genesis wave.
Karn.
Karn. Yeah. Did you know Karn's back, dude?
I did know Karn's back, but I think we should talk about his card.
Oh, this card sucks.
I know. Like, okay, we just had that little mini discussion of like most powerful beings in Magic, and Karn is probably somewhere on the list.
Yeah, I always forget about Karn because he had that he kind of had a cameo in like New Phyrexia, basically. Like he never did anything since obviously now he'll be doing stuff.
Yeah, but they made him a 4 loyalty Planeswalker. He's like a little dinky thing.
He's got 5 loyalty. Sorry, 4 mana for 5 loyalty.
Okay.
But he his card is like his original Planeswalker card, while very good and some would consider kind of broken.
Yeah.
Is still awesome. That card's so good.
Oh yeah. He's one of the most powerful Planeswalkers. But
now this card is just like, what?
I don't care about this card at all.
Yeah, I don't like this card.
This card seems like a Tezzeret card. Like it's cool with artifacts, but it's not fitting of like a legendarily powerful character in the story.
Like here's the thing. Like Karn has I understand that the original Karn legendary creature card had to do with artifacts and like animating them and like that stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like he's a planeswalker now. Like he should have like transcended. Like he's not like Tezzeret where he should only be able to do stuff with artifacts, right?
Mhm.
Like, he should transcend. Like he should be able to do like all types of stuff, especially because he's colorless. Like the entire like color pie is open to him.
Yes. And, I mean, he created the plane of Mirrodin.
Yeah, like he was
that
that powerful. Yeah. And yeah, maybe like post mending, he's not as powerful, but the fact that they gave him this dinky card is whatever. We'll count that up to a miss.
I mean, his card, he might be worth $30. He might be like a highly played card in standard. I just don't think he's like, I don't think he's got what it takes to like stick around after that.
I'm sure Wizards will stick them in their cube on Magic Online, and we'll expect them to draft him.
They try to like artificially pump up cards that they knew they dropped the ball on.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's always card. Like, I see like dinky Amonkhet cards in the cube, and I'm like, ugh, get out of here. Where's my good cards? All right. Anyway, Karn's Temporal Sundering, which I think is a better card than Karn himself, is a six mana time walk. That also you return up to one. You bounce a non-land permanent to its owner's hand.
That's cool.
And take an extra turn. Yeah, it exiles itself, but that's what all time walk cards are going to do from now on.
Yeah.
So. We got Kazarov, Sengir Pureblood, so I'm guessing related to Baron Sengir.
That's cool.
So it's a 4/4 flyer for 7, but it gets +1/+1 counter for every time a creature in opponent's goals is dealt damage.
Mm-hmm.
And you can 3 in a red. Oh, so it's technically black-red in its color identity.
I did that for Commander.
I guess.
God, he costs 7 mana, though. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if I like it or not.
If you have the mana in limited, it's good, but that card is not good outside of that.
No, it's not.
So forget that. Keldon Overseer. I've heard of Keldon Marauders.
Yeah, the Keldons were a barbarian tribe that were around when Urza was doing his time experiments at the Tolarian Academy. One of his like students, Gotha, ran away from the academy and took his knowledge of like genetic manipulation to the Keldons, and then he like did genetic experiments on them to make them stronger.
Whoa, that's cool.
So yeah, I mean, I know a little bit about that era of the story because I was reading the books from that era, but yeah, the Keldons are kind of cool.
Okay, well, it's a 3/1 haste for 3, like that's whatever, but you can kick it for 4 more. So for 7, it'll be a 3/1 haste, but you also get to threaten a creature.
All right.
Which isn't bad. Like threaten's usually a pretty good effect, especially like you get to attack with this plus the, and I'm sure it's not a rare. So it's basically like, this is a powered down version of Zealous Conscripts from Innistrad block.
Yes. Yeah.
But that card's a rare, and I'm assuming this will be common or uncommon. So, like if this card's rare, it's awful. If it takes up a rare slot, that's awful.
It looks like an uncommon to me.
But if it's an uncommon, I don't see any problem with it. This is stupid. The Keldon Warcaller.
Right.
Like, stop referencing sagas. Stop trying to make sagas a thing. Thank you.
Wait, what? It makes them fizzle faster. It like ruins your sagas, basically.
The whole point of it, like they're all like this is go back to like you them making rules and then immediately breaking them. Right?
Yeah.
Sagas are supposed to work one way, and then it does this. Why?
Well, you know, in Magic, we like to make rules and then break them. Always keep the players interested. That's what we did with the card.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure
on Blogatog.
Yeah, Mark Rosewater, your sales and attendance is down across the board. I'm sure keeping players very interested.
You think he, like, has a loaded gun by his bed that he just, like, periodically cleans and loads every night and just like contemplates shit and goes to bed like, oh, it's okay, Mark, I'll make better cards tomorrow. Good night.
You know, like you were talking about this earlier, so you know Richard Garfield was on the design team for the set, right?
Yeah, I don't know how they did that, but I mean, I like Richard Garfield. Are you saying that the poor quality of cards is somehow like, is he to blame for that?
No. What I'm saying is, like, you said that, like, when Richard Garfield comes in, he like reins in.
Yeah, I'd like to think that he does. Or I think they try to tap him for projects when they know that, like, you know, they're on thin ice. Like, they're like, oh, we got to call in the secret weapon here.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. That's why I think that like Innistrad was so good because he was on the design team for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll go to this. So now we got our white and black knights. I do like this hexproof from black thing, or like hexproof from certain things, because hexproof is too good on its own. But if you can change it to be like hexproof from certain stuff, then you can. Because a lot of times hexproof has to go on like 8-mana creatures, like unplayable stuff, because it's just too good to put on something small.
Yeah.
Or it has to like, or like if you remember, Dragon Lord Ojutai was only hexproof if it was untapped.
Yeah.
Like because hexproof is just too good of an ability. But I wish they bring back Shroud, but I understand it's a feel bad for the player, so whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, so they're like a white and black knight basically. They're 2/2 first strikes.
They're cool. I like them. They're like balanced for what they do. They're cool.
I like the Exalted ones the best they made when they did Exalted in that core set. Those are cool.
Knight of
Glory and Knight of something.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Quende.
Quende. You think he's got a big lip disc?
Yeah, he's got a. Oh, I hope the art has him in the lip disc and a Riddler suit. Oh, dude, what is he? I don't even know what this guy does. Let's see. Hold on. He does 2/2 double strike and creature was okay. That's not great. But I
international calling cards into play.
I want to build an EDH deck now with this guy and just get him altered to look like the Green Riddler suit guy. That'd be. This is Quende.
It is Quende.
Lord of Wakanda.
Yeah. Oh god, he feels like a Mirage creature too, because he's a 2/2 for 4 mana. I mean, that seems like one of the Knights cards from Mirage block.
Okay, you would know more. I'm not.
Which I guess is cool, but
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Lich's Mastery, which I think is a cool card.
Yeah, this will be the janky black mythic rare, probably, right?
I think there's a chance this could see standard play.
You think so?
Because of
all right, we'll see.
Because of the card Approach of the Second Sun from Amonkhet.
Okay, all right.
So you pay 7 and gain 7 life, but then you immediately will draw the Second Sun again, right? Because
yes,
you put it 7 from the bottom. No. Because this is when you gain life, draw that many cards on it.
Ah, okay.
So what you do, and I'm pretty sure the way the way stack works is it'll trigger, but it won't the trigger won't resolve until Second Sun is finished resolving.
Okay.
So Second Sun will finish resolving, be put 7th from the top of your library.
Yeah.
Right, and then you'll just draw 7 off gaining 7 life, and you can immediately cast it the next turn. So if they can't kill you by the next turn, you can just win, or if they can't like make you Second of Christ enough permanence or whatever to like make you have enough lands to cast it, you just win.
All right, you've piqued my interest here, but Lich's Mastery costs 6 mana. Second Sun costs 8 mana.
7.
7. Okay,
so you can cast it the next turn after you cast Lich's Mastery.
All right. Okay, so what are we? Are you using ramp cards in this deck? Or
I would just make it like an Esper control deck probably.
Okay.
Like white black, probably splashing blue for like either counter spells or stuff like that. I would guess. Okay. I don't know. I don't play a lot of standard, but I think it could do. I think it could see play.
Okay. That's fair.
It's not impossible. This card's cool. Land of War Scout. Put the land in your hand onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
Is this a reprint?
I don't think it's a reprint.
Because I know there's a Kamigawa card. There's a Snake card that does this, but I don't think there's an Elf card that does it. Or if there is, I haven't heard of it.
I can look it up. Is it? Do you think it's a common or an uncommon? If you were to guess,
I'm gonna guess it's a common.
Okay.
If it's an uncommon, I'd be surprised. While you're looking it up, I'll just read the next one. Lyra Dawnbringer.
Nah, there's no Land of War Scout.
Okay, so there we go. Not a reprint.
It's a brand new card, folks.
We only like brand new cards here. Anyway, we got our 5-man. I guess related to Rhea Dawnbringer. This Lyra Dawnbringer.
Okay, yeah,
it's
sure.
a 5/5 angel with flying, first strike, and lifelink, and other angels get +1/+1 and have lifelink. So in your angel tribal deck, it's pretty good. I mean, it's just in limited. It's just a bomb. Like this is just a 5/5 flying, first strike, lifelink for 5. Like any other text it has is just gravy in limited. So
12-year-old RC would have been all over this card. I loved angels when I was younger.
I hope she's hot. I bet she has a shaved head. That's because that's what I think when I think of angels is shaved heads.
It's like a dude with makeup on. Yeah, I don't. I used to love the angel cards. Like I really liked Radiant Archangel from like Urza's Legacy. I just any like legendary cool angels I really like, even if they were bad. I just collected angel cards.
Or see, what if they like it's not good enough for it to be a dude? Like it has to be like the angel's like in a wheelchair. It's like a disabled angel.
One of the arms is cut off. It's got like a fake arm.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, sorry. Okay,
I guess for all we know, we could be correct on this. We haven't seen the art yet.
No, I know. This is my prediction, though. All right, so now we got Mawin, the nurturer. Mawin. Mawin. But it's elf tribal, so we're gonna give this one a pass. Right. Whenever another elf creature has a battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on them, and they add a green. Go to its power. So
Mawin the nurturer. I just picture this like this big fat oaf with like his shirt's too small and he's like petting a kitten, just like some like mentally disabled child. Mawin.
Mawin. This card's cool. The Merfolk Trickster. Blue for a 2/2 flash. As tap target creature an opponent controls, it loses all abilities until end of turn. It seems very trickstery, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2/2 flash is cool, and I guess that double blue mana cost is good for what's that card? The one from Theros block that cares about your
Master of Waves.
Yeah, Master of Waves. I mean, maybe there's a deck there that people may already be playing. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it'd be Merfolk and Modern.
Modern Merfolk.
But I doubted this one would see play. But, okay. This is another awful song. The Mirari Conjecture.
Okay, and he uses the word Mirari, so it should be a good card, but we'll find out.
Yeah. Right. 5.
5 mana.
All right, return first. When it comes into play, you return an instant from your graveyard to your hand. Then you return a sorcery. And then, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you copy it and choose your targets for the copy. So, yeah, if you get to the third one and you have a bunch of mana and a bunch of cards in your hand and you're not already dead, and they didn't destroy this, you can just go crazy. Sure.
Yeah, this is like an EDH card for like when you're already winning or you're just kind of like playing with yourself like late in the game.
Yeah, it's not
an awesome card, but it does powerful things, but they're not going to like help you win the game really.
Exactly. Mishra's Self-Replicator. It has the Assembly Worker creature type. Okay. But it uses the word historic in its text box. I guess this card could be good, especially every time
you hate it.
Yeah, therefore I hate this card because it uses the word historic. But I will say that this card could get out of control pretty quickly because every time you just pay the 1 and all the tokens have this ability as well. So
yeah, that's nuts. Do you think this is mythic?
Do I think that's a mythic?
Or do you think it's a regular?
It shouldn't be. It should be a rare.
It costs 5 mana, which just kind of makes the card like not exciting. But
if that's a mythic, I'd be like, I just think of like, wasn't there like a mirror from Scars of Mirrodin that did the same thing? It wasn't mythic. It's not the same thing, but it was like Mirror Propagator, I think it was called. It was like make a copy of it, and all the copies had the ability to tap and make copies of them.
Okay.
This card is more powerful than that card, I will say, yes, but Mox Amber, we already talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
We got Moldothra, the Gravetide. Jesus.
Oh, weird.
Elemental Avatar.
Oh, that's cool. It's Sultai colors. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a Sultai. I didn't even notice this guy's. I thought this was just mono black, but it's a Sultai commander. And you can play a card from each. This card's actually not bad. This would be a really good EDH card.
I'd probably put this in my Sultai deck, which currently has a Mimeoplasm as a general. Mm-hmm. Seems cool.
All right, so we got Multani. I think I've heard that name before.
Yeah, he was Yavimai's avatar. That's cool. He's still alive. He was the Marrow Sorcerer from Urza's Legacy that helped Urza fight the Phyrexians. Okay. And then later he was in Invasion Block. Like he was still alive then, so it's cool he's still alive. And he's pictured on Rancor.
Oh, Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, he gets +1/+1 for each land you control and each land card in your graveyard.
Okay.
That's cool. So but he's a 0/0, so that's his power and toughness.
Yeah.
And he has reach and trample. That's cool, I guess. And you can return 2 lions you control to your hand, so shrink him by 2, but you return him to your hand, so you can regrow him. That's okay.
From your graveyard to your hand, yeah. So he can never die really unless they exile him.
Yeah.
That's very flavorful. Unfortunately, I think he's probably going to be mythic.
Really? I would say this is a rare at most.
I'm gonna guess that he is mythic because he is an iconic character.
All right. Do we want to start a bet pool where every time we're wrong on bets, we have to keep a track of it? Or
yeah, if you want to.
I guess you're not into that idea, so we won't do that.
I'll just remember. I'll remember when I will say that Multani's probably going to be mythic.
Okay.
But he's one of the bad mythics in this set.
Okay, I can see that. I guess. All right. So we got Nabhan. Dean of Iteration.
Iteration.
Yeah, he's the Dean, and he's a wizard comes into your control under your battlefield. Okay, I saw this guy. So he doubles triggered abilities for wizards.
Only for wizards. Okay.
Which could be good. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of good wizards in Magic. The first one I thought of was Venser Shaper Savant. You get to bounce 2 things.
Snapcaster Mage. You can
Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, you get to target 2 things. That's whatever.
Vendilion Click. I feel like this guy needs flash.
Yeah, I don't care about wizard tribal cards really, so it's whatever to me. We got a 4-mana flash guy that copies a instant or sorcery. So, and it also is a wizard anthem. So, I guess for your wizard deck, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Navigator's Compass. I think this card's going to see play in standard.
Okay, so it's a 1-mana artifact. When Navigator's Compass enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life, and then you can tap it. Until end of turn, target land you control becomes a basic land type of your choice in addition to its other types.
I think that the basic land types are going to matter eventually. Also, this...
You think?
Yeah, and I think because I think there's going to be we might see Tron lands in standard soon.
All right.
And I think this will be good in a Tron deck for standard.
All right. Do you think they're going to bring back Domain or Sunburst or any of that
maybe
force you to play 5 color stuff?
I could see that as well. Okay. It's also historic.
Oh yeah, it does trigger historic. Yes, you're right.
So there's that.
I mean, gain for your life. That's kind of cool, even if you. I don't know. Yeah, I can see.
Oh God, I didn't see the name of this card before.
What? Oath of the Fairy.
So that means he joins the stupid Gatewatch.
Yeah, the Gay Watch.
Teferi, what are you doing hanging around with these losers? Why can't we just get rid of the Gatewatch and just follow around Teferi, Joyra, and Karn?
I know.
It's way better.
Yeah, those characters are way better.
And for all those people who say we hate diversity, I just named a artifact creature, a woman with short hair, and a vaguely black African Arab person.
We got a person of color, a woman, and then a non-gendered thing. And we like them more than the Burger King Kids Club they were creating with the Gatewatch.
Exactly. The thing is, it doesn't matter what the characters are as long as they're good characters.
Right.
That's the whole point. Whatever. All right.
One critique I do have for Teferi though is they give him hair now. He used to be I bald or have a shaved head. Now
he used to have a cool hat on one of his pictures. I want the hat back.
He had a hat?
Yeah, or a turban or something.
I'm gonna have to look. I thought he always had a shaved head, but
we might have. But he always had not always, but in one iteration he had a hat. I think that was the coolest part.
All right, I'll go back and check that out.
But it's a legendary enchantment. You exile target permanent you control and return it. So it's like a Venser ability when it comes into play. The Planeswalker +2.
Yeah.
And then twice. Whoa, that's actually pretty cool. I didn't even read that second part the first time I skimmed this document. That is great in your Planeswalker decks. Woo. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
Because you can immediately just do it. So other Planeswalkers you played before him, you can do that.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I mean, it
all
just costs 5 mana for that enchantment.
I'm sure we're going like way over time, so I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and hurry.
It's fine. This will be like a big bonus episode. It's fine.
Yeah. I think that'll be good. Just like go through all these.
Also, you got to think. Yeah, we should finish out the set. We also got to keep in mind that like some people, since we're using the timestamp, some people are just gonna skip through the magic crap anyway. So
yeah, sure. All right, so we got on Sarah's rings, wings. I said rings. Legend. It's a legendary enchantment. Enchant creature is legendary. Gets +1/+1. So I guess this is the thing that gives something legendary. What I thought the night thing should have the dub card. So I guess this does that instead. I guess it's a pretty good aura. So for limited, I'm guessing this is a common or uncommon. I wouldn't if this is a rare. I'd be disappointed. But
yeah, I don't know. It feels like a common to me, like a good common, but it's a common.
Like it'll be a legendary card that's not rare. So this will be one of those, I think.
Yeah.
Right, so we got the Friction Scriptures.
Okay.
So we got 4 mana comes into play. You put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and it becomes an artifact in addition to other types. Then you destroy all non-artifact creatures.
Okay.
And then you exile all cards. So the third ability doesn't really do anything.
No.
I'm guessing if we have graveyard stuff in this, like standard, it could be okay.
Yeah.
I got this card sees play, but
yeah, it's overcosted. A lot of these sagas seem overcosted.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe they just wanted them to be that way because they're supposed to be these legendary things. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I'll say is the saga starts seeing play. We're going to see my card. I forget what it's called already, but the naturalize that puts a land into play. That'll be good.
Oh yeah, I like that card. Yeah. One of my favorites.
We got a Power Stone Shard. It's a 3 mana artifact. Tap, add colors for each artifact you control named Power Stone Shard. So you have 2, they add 2, and 3, they add 3. I guess it's a little. I mean, they're probably running out of ideas for what you can put on a mana rock. So, this seems like one of the. This is on Mark Rosewater's list for a while. They were like, "Hey, let's just put it in this set."
Oh, why not?
I'm the best designer Magic's ever had. Have you heard about this mechanic? It's called energy. It's really fun to play with and against. All right.
It's just fun to do his voice.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just like him and Evan Irwin, it's fun to just do because they're just silly people.
They're too happy for what they're doing, what they're talking about. They're just so happy.
Like I imagine his drive to work podcast when Magic dies. He's like, I'm pulling out of my driveway. It's like this podcast is going to be about how Magic the Gathering is no longer a game because of my inept decisions over the years.
I'm driving off of the pier. Goodbye.
I'm locking the doors. This is a special edition. I have my children with me. Sorry, I'm a little too. I don't want to break my
entertaining. I would tune in for them.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely tune in. Clarification: I do not wish harm upon anybody, but Mark Rosewater's a dickhead. So there's that.
We're just doing this for comedy's sake. It's we don't wish harm upon anybody.
Yeah, so Precognition Field is an enchantment. You can look at the top card of your library. Okay. You can cast the top card of your library if it's instant sorcery, so it's not revealed, so they don't know what's there. Yeah. And you can pay 3. I actually like this card. Too bad it's not red.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
It could go in our EDH deck, but
yeah. Again, I feel like it's like a little bit overcosted. So yeah, I really think Commander's the only place that this thing would be good.
Yeah, it's probably that is most likely the case.
Yeah.
Next card. We got our Primeval's Glorious Rebirth. It's a legendary sorcery, white, black, and 5. Return all legendary permanent cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. This card sucks. Don't ever play that card.
Why is it so again overcosted? Why?
Well, yeah. Like here's the thing. Like what legendary cards are in your graveyard? Like why can't this cost like 4? Like I don't understand. Like
yeah,
I don't know.
It's such a corner case card. Why would you make it cost so much?
And you have to already have a legendary creature card in play and a planeswalker to play it.
That's true. And somehow your deck has to be built around the fact that like you're only doing stuff with legendary things, which is difficult.
Yeah, so your deck has to be built like that. You have to already have one in play. You have to have stuff in your graveyard to bring back. Like, there's no reason that card should cost 7. Whatever.
No.
All right, Radiating Lightning, instant 3 in red, deals 3 damage to target player and 1 damage to each creature that player controls. So you have to remember, this way this card is worded now, this is meant to only do damage to play. Like before, if this card was printed pre this block, this card could take out a Planeswalker.
Okay.
But it can't under the rules that they are now.
Okay.
So that's worth noting, I guess. We got a Rampaging Cyclops. Stupid.
Yeah.
It's one of those red cards. Like, oh, we can't make red creatures good because fuck you or something. I don't know. Rat Colony. We got some rats.
Yeah, this is a cool card. I like this card.
I don't understand. Okay, so when they printed Shadowborn Apostle, the last card to have this ability.
Yeah.
They asked, "Oh, is this a black thing?" Like, because the only 2 cards that have ever had this ability are black. And they're like, "No, we just the cards that seem to work best for it at the time were black." So they just made another one as black, and it's a rat again. Yeah. So I don't understand. I get rats are flavorful for this kind of thing because there's lots of them.
Yeah.
But I would like to see them try to do this mechanic on cards other than black.
Sure. What would be a thematic thing for another color to have something like this? Like, what would be a creature?
Green would have like ants or like bees.
Yeah.
White would have like I don't know, cats.
I don't know what white would have. I could see green having this effect.
Sure. I mean, a blue could have like birds, maybe. Maybe white could be birds, something like that. But I could see green. See, green is the main one I think of. Like, I think green could have this effect easily.
Yeah. It would be cool. Like, yeah, green. I think like insects, swarms would be cool. It would also be cool if they made some sort of ooze that was like a little 1/1, and you could like sacrifice the ooze to put a certain number of counters onto another ooze of the same name. So like they were all kind of like pooling together. Like you get a bunch of little droplets of the ooze, but you can like morph them together into one big blob of ooze.
That would be cool. I agree.
Kind of a cool thing. I should work at Wizards of the Coast. I'm so smart.
Yeah, well, I think you do a better job than half the people there, honestly. I honestly think that. Not even 3/4. Because if half the people there were competent, we wouldn't be here. So
Rat Colony's all right. I think it's cool, kind of cool. Like recently they reprinted Relentless Rats in Masters 25 as a common, which kind of opens up that Relentless Rats deck for Pauper. And this is like another card that I'm assuming this is going to be a common. This is like another card that you could play those shenanigans with, and it's slightly cheaper, which is cool.
Yes. I do like the rules note on Rat Colony. Like, it lets you ignore the 4 of rule, but it doesn't let you ignore format legality.
For like Commander?
Or, yeah, well, no, like, you can do it in Commander. It's just, it's for, we'll say it was, like, banned, right? Mm-hmm. Like, someone could, like, play this even if it was banned and argue, well, the card says I can have any number of them in my deck.
I see.
I think that's what it's meant for.
Gotcha.
But like, I don't think that rule is meant to. Or if for some reason this card's uncommon and not common, like you couldn't play it in Pauper because it's like, yeah, like it's not a common, but it says I can have any number of them in my deck. So.
Oh, okay, I got you. So there's
see what I mean
around that whole thing.
Yeah, it's for someone trying to be a dick or something, I guess. This card has something to do with historic cards, so. Stupid. It's
right.
blue-black though, so I'm sad it doesn't do something better.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card's stupid. All right, Seal Away. This card's cool. It's just another take on like the white killing attacking creatures thing.
Yeah, it's got flash, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Sentinel of the Pearl Trident. Throw back to Merfolk and Lord of the Pearl, or whatever it's called, Master of the Pearl Trident, whatever it's called. When it exiled, oh no, I forgot. It has to do with store cards too. Yeah, this card's bad. All right. Well, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure, like, okay, I'm sure the card's fine. I just hate historic. If you guys haven't noticed yet, so
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, it kind of sucks. He's a soldier and not a knight because it would be kind of cool to use him to exile your history of Benalia, like right when it's about to trigger on the third. You know, like you make your 2 knight tokens, and you can.
oh man, that'd be actually. Why aren't you working at Wizards, RC?
Right. Like I said, the same to you, Mike. But yeah, I don't know. It's like if he was a knight, it would be a little more useful for that. I mean, because it costs 5 mana.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Settle the score. It's 4 mana for a 2 black and 2 for exile target creature, and put 2 loyalty counters on a planeswalker you control. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't like the planeswalker centric gameplay we're going for because I think using too many planeswalkers leads to unfun standard. But
yeah.
I think the card's cool. So we got Shauna, Sisei's Legacy.
Oh, man, this card sucks. It's a 0/0 for green white, and that's it. It's a legendary creature, human warrior 0/0.
What?
Oh no! Wait, all the text is on the next page. That was my lame joke that the people at home.
Oh, okay. So the way you're looking at it is different from mine. Like it wasn't on the next page for me.
Oh,
so
it wasn't. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like wondering what your joke was.
Well, it's weird that the page breaks would be in different spots. I thought we were looking at the same document.
Yeah, I think it's because you just have a different thing using it. Whatever. The people listening don't need to know that. I'm guessing related to Captain Sisei, the Shauna person. I'm sure she has the shaved side of her head and wears a burqa. So it has hexproof. Okay. It doesn't have hexproof, so it can't. It can be the target of spells your opponents control, but not abilities. That's weird.
Can't be the target of abilities. Okay.
And it gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. I mean,
this is like a very middle of the road rare, I think.
Yeah, I could see it actually being good.
Yeah, like maybe like a token deck.
Yeah, something like that. Because it only costs 2. It's not like it's a big investment. Because like if you have 2 creatures out, it's a 2/2 for 2, and then any better than that, any more than that, it's even better.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I could see it being okay. Shield of the Realm 2. If a sorcerer deal damage to a creature, prevent 2 of that damage. It only costs 2 to play and 1 to equip. I don't think it's that bad.
All right.
Siege Gang Commander's back. I like that card.
That's a good card, yeah.
Skizik. I don't even know what that does.
That's a reprint from Invasion, I think.
Oh, okay. So you have to kick it, or else it's just like a lightning elemental, basically.
Yeah.
They're called like ball lightning.
Yeah.
Okay. Slimefoot. This guy's name is Slimefoot.
Oh, cool. Oh, he's a legendary fungus. Cool.
Okay. And whenever Slapperling Tribal.
Right.
Whenever it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life. So whenever Sapperling you control dies.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then you can create Sapperling tokens with him. I think that guy's good.
He's cool, yeah. There's a lot of good Sapperling cards from the past. So
I like the stats of 2/3 for 3. I like when things are 2/3 for 3.
Okay.
I don't know if that's I think that's just a personal preference, honestly.
It's a very fair cost.
Yeah. Song of Freyalise.
Yes. The Saga.
I don't like this card. But,
okay, 1 colorless and 1 green. It's Enchantment Saga. The first and second turns has the mode until your next turn, creatures you control gain tap, add 1 green mana, or add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And then the third mode, so on turn 3, you put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain Vigilance, Trample, and Indestructible until end of turn. Yeah, it's not really sticking out to me.
Like, it's like an overrun type card, but the whole point of an overrun card is you're supposed to just play it and then it's good. They're not supposed to be able to see it coming. You know?
Yeah.
I don't like that. Okay, we got the Sorcerer's Wand. Oh. I'd like to show that girl over there, my Sorcerer's Wand. Equipped creature has tap. This creature deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. If this creature's a wizard, it deals 2 damage instead. Okay.
Okay.
Fine, yes.
This is a very like core set type of card. It's like thematic, fairly costed. It like does what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like this next guy here, the Sparring Construct. It's a 1/1. When it dies, you put a 1/1 counter. It's like the modular guy from Mirrodin.
Oh yeah. Okay, he's a 1/1 for 1. That's a cool card. I guess.
It's an artifact, so it triggers historic.
Very important.
Yeah, I know. Thallid, dude. Spore Crown Thallid. It's a fungus, and it says each other creature you control that's a fungus or saproling gets +1/+1.
I like him. He's cool.
Yeah, it's fine.
You think he's rare or uncommon?
Rare, for
Rare.
sure. Squee, the Immortal. Squeeze back.
Yeah.
So he's a 2/1 for 3, and you can cast him from your graveyard or exile. So no matter what they do to him, you can cast him.
I hope he's rare. I hope he's not mythic.
Yeah, I would hope he's not mythic as well.
Yeah.
We got Steel Leaf Champion, green, and it's for 5/4, so 3 green for 3 mana 5/4.
Yeah.
It's an elf, and it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So I think that's cool. Like, I think that's good because usually what you would do to deal with this creature unlimited is you'd double block it with 2/2/2s, but you can't do that with this guy. So I think that's cool.
Does this card have a place in any elf deck that you're aware of?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Absolutely not. Sylvan Awakening. If it's a common, maybe Pauper Elves. I don't know.
It's too good to be a common, though. I think.
Okay.
I would think so.
I haven't played Pauper Elves before either, so I don't know if it's even good enough for that. Anyway, 2 and a green sorcery, Sylvan Awakening. Till end of turn, you have 2/2. Your lands are 2/2s with Reach, Indestructible, and Haste. I don't know why they have Reach because this is a sorcery.
Yeah.
What is the point of giving them? I guess if you have a thing that lets you cast the sorcery, maybe you have like Quickening or whatever.
Oh, no, it says until your next turn, not until end of
turn. Not until it. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I stand corrected. That's cool.
So you change your mind completely. It's now an awesome card.
Yeah, this card still sucks.
Yeah.
It's just like a card I'm going to lose to Unlimited and hate myself. That's all I see that card as. So sorry for getting it wrong, boys and girls, and Foxkins. Anyway, so we got Teferi. He's a Planeswalker.
All right. I haven't read him yet. He better be good because he's the face of the set, right?
All right. You go ahead and read it to me then.
All right. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. For 3 colorless, 1 white and 1 blue. He's a legendary Planeswalker. He starts out with 4 loyalty. His +1 ability, draw a card at the beginning of the next end step, untap 2 lands. Okay. For his -3 ability, put target non-land permanent into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. And a -8 ability, you get an emblem with whenever you draw a card, exile target permanent and opponent controls. Not great.
What? I like this guy.
You like him?
Yeah, I like him. Like, untapping lands in a blue deck? I think that's pretty good.
Okay, he costs 5. He comes in with 4, so he's already overcosted. Okay, his +1 ability, which you're going to be using 9 times out of 10 the first time, which puts him at 5 loyalty. So now he's fair. Draw a card at the beginning of the next end step. Untap 2 lands. So you get to untap 2 lands at the beginning of the end step. So I guess that puts you ready for like counter magic and stuff.
Well, yeah, it lets you protect him. So for next turn, you can keep like the whole point of him. I think is you're able to draw cards to draw into more gas to protect him, and then once you get the emblem, you just win the game because that's just like every time you draw a card, like that's every draw step plus every time a card says draw a card, you're exiling a permanent they control.
Yeah, well, maybe I should be practicing what I preach because I know when I was espousing the wonders of Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus, I was counting on his ultimate to be the win condition. But I just think most of the time you just never get to that ultimate.
I see him okay. I understand that, but I see him being okay in a control deck. Oh, I like this card.
Maybe in a powered down standard, he'd be okay. Here's the thing: his -3 ability
doesn't do a whole lot.
So devastating to his loyalty count. It just gets rid of one. It gets rid of 1 threat for a few turns, and it takes some like.
Okay, you know where I see this though. And you're gonna laugh at me, but I could see this scene play in Modern. In like a modern blue-white control deck, because untapping 2 like having 2 mana in Modern is way better than in any other format except for Legacy and Vintage.
Okay.
Which is half the format. Sorry, so it's way better than Standard. I'll say.
Sure.
And his -3. Like, if you put a thing for 3rd from the top, like, a lot of stuff causes you to shuffle your library in Modern. Like, they have fetch lands. You can cast Path to Exile, and they would have to choose to either not search or get rid of their thing that's 3rd from the top. Uh, and then I like so I think this card is just better for like that kind of deck. And then like so I've seen decks like this play like Gideon Jura, right? And
Okay.
they do different things. Like, but Gideon Jura is meant to be a way to either help you survive an extra turn and then like close out a game. You can also close out a game because it becomes a 6/6 or whatever.
Yeah.
But for this, it like gives you the card advantage you want in addition to being a way to close out the game eventually. And instead of, and also can buy you time because they're going to have to try to attack it to get rid of it in most cases instead of trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Like I know you're not hopeful, but I mean I wouldn't be surprised if this.
I would like to see the card do well. I just I don't my gut and my instinct when I read it is that it's not great.
Okay.
But, I mean it's okay.
I'm hopeful, but I would not be surprised if it just doesn't see play.
Okay.
But I'm hopeful. This card better see play.
Tempest Gen.
Tempest Gen, dude. 3 blue for an 0/4, but it gets +1/+0 for each basic island you control.
That's pretty powerful.
I love playing basic islands. Don't like, you know. So this guy is awesome. Plus he has 3 blue devotion. So boom.
Yeah, he'll be like a 3/4 out of the gate easily, and then he'll probably be like a 7 or an 8/4 by the end of the game.
Yeah. They got this Planeswalker deck only card. It's like it's an unsummon that it's a sorcery, but you draw a card if you have an artifact.
Okay.
We have a dinosaur because those are dinosaurs.
All right.
We have an Allosaurus that when you kick it, when enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, it fights another. So it's a 5/5 that if you could pay 7 for, and it would.
All right.
Hopefully, it's not rare. If it's not rare, it's defendable in my opinion. But if it's rare, I'm gonna be very upset. So Teshar, Ancestors Apostle. It's a bird cleric. I love those bird clerics, but it has historic in its text box, so it's automatically awful. Okay. So with this guy, I read a thread that you can now have infinite damage from using like a 4-card combo with this guy now in standard.
Okay.
So there's a card from Ixalan. There's a red enchantment in Ixalan that says pay 1, sacrifice an artifact or creature, deal 1 damage to target player, I think.
Okay.
So you use that with 2 different of the new Moxes.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a creature card that says whenever from Kaladesh block, it's a 2-mana like 2/3 or something that when it comes into play, you return a non-land permanent you control to your owner's to your hand. So you sacrifice that guy with the enchantment using the mana you get from the Mox, and then you bring him back with this guy's ability by casting the historic spell, which is the Mox, right? The other one. And then you can bring that guy back, and it bounces the Mox back to your hand.
Okay.
And you can just keep doing that for damage.
Oh, that's cool. All right. So that's a 4-card combo?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but like it's still something you can do.
That's neat. Yeah. I'm glad that they put an Aven in the set because they are a race from Dominaria. I think that's the first bird card we've seen.
All right, now we got an awesome card. We got Tetsuko Umezawa, Fugitive.
So you are the resident expert on Kamigawa, at least more so than I am. Do you know who this character is? Because I think there's a
he's a descendant of the legend Tetsuo Umezawa.
So this is like his grandson?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Okay.
I'm assuming he's well, that guy was black, I'm pretty sure, right? Or no.
That was Toshiro Umezawa from Kamigawa. He was Tetsuo's son, I think.
No. But there's a Legends card that's like Umezawa.
I thought that was Tetsuo.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
But this guy's.
Let me search Gatherer here. We'll see if I can.
Okay. Oh, this guy's. Oh, okay. I thought this guy was Tetsuo. He's Tetsuko.
Tetsuko, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he's a descendant of that guy. If I understand correctly, is the way they retcon that to that guy existing on Dominaria.
Yeah.
Is he was transported there by some planeswalker at some point, as like an exile or like punishment or something. I think.
Okay.
I want to say, and that's why he exists there. But he's originally but the guy from Legends is originally from Kamigawa. Is how they retconned
Okay.
it. Don't quote me. I don't know the full. I remember hearing that one time though. That's all I got.
And the grandfather Umezawa, he was the guy who defeated Nicol Bolas in combat at some point. Is that the?
Was it? I didn't think so.
I thought that was like part of his like legendary status, is that he's like the only person to ever like defeat Nicol Bolas. But it was before Nicol Bolas got to be as powerful as he is now. It's like when he was like in Legends.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So okay. So according to Gather, there's Tetsuo Umezawa from Legends. Then there's Toshiro Umezawa, who's the mono black guy from Betrayers of Kamigawa. And now there's this guy who's mono black.
This guy's mono blue.
Oh, he's mono blue. Okay. And
Yeah.
Tetsuo, the oldest one, is Grixis colors.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. So, yeah, I'm assuming this guy is a. I think that's really cool that this guy is a thing in the set.
Yeah. That is cool.
His ability's not great, I'm guessing. I guess it depends on like if there's any one power or one. Oh, it's or toughness.
Yeah.
Okay, so that could be like a 6/1 is unblockable now.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
That card from Dragon's Maze, Master of Cruelties. It's like the 1/4 that if it deals damage to your opponent, their life goes down to 1.
Oh, so you played it in an EDH deck with the Grixis Umezawa guy.
Yeah,
and then you play this guy in that deck too, and then boom.
Pretty sick.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be cool to see what the artwork looks like.
Yeah, I would love to see what the artwork looks like. I hope he has the sword. Anyway, Valid Soothsayers, a 3 and a black for a fungus, another fungus. 2 mana, sacrifice a creature, draw a card for a 2/3. That's not bad for limited.
That's not bad, yeah.
Thorn Elemental, that's a reprint, right?
Yep.
Tiana's Ship's Caretaker. She's an Angel Artificer. I don't think we've ever seen an Angel Artificer before.
That's neat.
Flying first strike. Whenever an R or equipment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may return that card to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. All right. Well, it's fine. 3/3 first strike. I wish it was like a 4/4 or something. It's only 3/3, but
yeah.
What can you do? Time of Ice. I'm guessing this is Ice Age supposed to represent.
This reminds me of, okay, they clearly wanted to just call this thing Ice Age, but for whatever reason they don't want to do. I mean, they have magic cards and then they like later name sets after the magic card, even though the two are unrelated, like Apocalypse or Planar Chaos, that type of thing.
Yeah,
they clearly wanted to call this thing Ice Age, but for whatever reason they didn't do it. When I read this, it reminds me of did you ever watch the show Mystery Science Theater 3000?
No, sorry, man.
Okay, well, they just they make fun of like crappy movies. Like they'd watch these old movies that were crappy, and a lot of them were like knockoffs of like things that were like more mainstream movies. And one movie they watched was like this thing made in Japan or Korea or something. It was called Time of the Apes instead of Planet of the Apes. And that's what I see when I read this. So it's like some bootleg Ice Age.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it sounds so cool. The Time of Ice. No, okay. So when I think of it, I also thought of a bootleg thing where it's like, but that would like I thought of like this is crappier than your example, but the Ice Age movies. Like this, I actually like the first one. I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah. But like I was like this sounds like a knockoff someone would do to like jump on like some company would do to like get kids to be like, let's rent the Time of Ice. That's what my kid wants. You know, they want like Ice Age, Time of Ice. What's the difference? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it does just sound like a night. I don't even know what it does. Okay. But 4 mana. Why are they all 4 mana or more? I know we've seen some 2 mana ones, but like, okay. And then, yeah, this card sucks. Don't play it. Like, how do you care? Okay. Unless you have an instant that taps all creatures target player controls, this card is awful.
Yeah.
Because they just see it coming. They just don't tap their creatures on the turn. It's going to return all tapped creatures.
Right.
Like, I guess you can kind of use it as a fog that way, but whatever. All right. We got Torgar, Famine Incarnate. 8 mana. All right, it's better. I haven't read this guy. He better be good.
He better be good,
yeah. 7/6. I hate that. I hate when things are 7/6s. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This spell is okay. So it costs 2 less for each creature you sack. So I guess if you have some tokens, it can be pretty good. When it enters the battlefield, up to one target player's life total becomes half their starting life total.
He's not good.
This card is awful.
Not good.
He doesn't even He doesn't even have like flying or trample or.
He has nothing. I liked how you were able to identify it was a bad card just when you saw the stats 7/6, and that's so true. There's no good cards that are 7/6s.
I'm trying to think of one right now. It's like a good. There's no good 7/6s.
There are no good 7/6s. Like if he was a 7/7, you'd be like, okay, I'm still listening.
Yeah.
7/6 is bad. That's the tip.
I was like, what? Because I was like reading that card in real time. I was like, I was reading like the 2 or less thing. And I was like, okay, so you can cheat it into play. What's it doing when you cheat it into play?
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh my god, this is awful. Okay.
When you read that, you're like, okay, I'm playing it on turn 3. Now, how am I going to get my advantage? And I'm like, oh no, it sucks.
Okay, Triumph of Gerard. This is a 2-mana saga, as I was just talking about them having some 2-mana ones. Okay. Yeah. A creature you control with the greatest power. This card sucks. This card sucks.
We're not even going to talk about it. It sucks. Moving on.
Yeah, I'm just. This saga sucks.
This is going to be really great for the listeners. There's so many cards we're just reading through. Like, what's this card? And we like mumble it to ourselves. Like, it sucks. Next one.
Yeah. I think. Okay, I understand.
If it was me, I'd be like, oh, they think it sucks, but I still want to know what it does. But I mean, we're not going to read out every damn card.
Yeah, I think it's 140 cards, guys. Come on.
You're getting our raw natural reactions here.
Yeah, you're getting like I think that's what you're paying for by clicking on this free video is to get our raw reactions. Like, all right, you know what? Now that we've talked about it this much, I'm gonna read the card.
All right.
It's Triumph of Gerard. It's a saga for white and 1. Yeah. And 1 and 2, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control with the greatest power. 3, target creature you control with the greatest power gains flying, first strike, and lifelink. So if you play it on turn 2 after you play a creature on turn 1, they kill your 1-drop the next turn. So your next time, it doesn't do anything. And then the third time, you get like flying, first strike, and lifelink on like a 3/3. Good job. Stupid. Bad card.
And if they wrath somewhere in between, the card does nothing. It just sits there and fizzles away.
It's just awful. All right. So Urgaros, the empty one. It's a 4/3 Spectre, flyer.
6 mana, 2 black, and then 4 color.
Yeah, it's 6 mana, so it better do something good. Okay. It deals damage to a player. That player discards a card at random. If that player can't, you draw a card. All right. It's not the worst. It should cost like 4.
Yeah, it seems like a card from back in like Invasion era where like cards were good, but they were still overcosted.
Okay, so here's a shitty card. Urza's Tome, 2 mana artifact, 3 and tap it, draw a card, then discard a card unless you exile a historic card from your graveyard. Ugh.
You cannot put the word Urza in a card name and not have it be at least somewhat okay. I mean, you're invoking the name of the God Emperor here, and you're just going to put it on some shitty uncommon?
There's plenty of Urzas and Mishra cards from back in the day that are bad, right? But this is now. Like, we know who Urza...
no more. They're legendary status now.
Yeah, everything that Urza's name should be on should be, like, mythic and great. If this card's a rare, I'm going to kill myself. Like, that's not true. It's because it's probably a rare. All right, we got Valduke. Valduke, Keeper of the Flame. He's human. Get a comment on your turn for each art and equipment attached to him. You get a 3/1 red elemental creature token with trample and haste. Okay. I could see this guy, like, if you want to build a mono red like Voltron deck, then there's your guy.
That's kind of cool.
Verdant Force, that's reprint. I hope they have the Predator. He's the guy that looks like a Predator in one of the sets, right? Or am I wrong? It's someone else.
He looks like kind of like a big Muppet, sort of.
Oh, okay.
He's got like a bunch of like a woolly looking face and like long fingers, and he's like walking through the swamp.
Okay. All
That's
right.
what I remember it as.
All right, cool. All right, so we have Varric's Blade Wing. I'm assuming, hopefully, it's better than Rorik's Blade Wing.
Yeah.
It's 4 mana for 4/4. You can kick it for 3. Flying. So it's a 4/4 flyer for 4 if you don't kick it, which isn't the worst
No,
thing in the
that's
world.
fine.
And then if you pay 7, it's a as rough. If it was create Carrick's Blade Wing, a legend. Okay, so it's like a brother dragon. So
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's kind of all right. Well,
You could have
I'll
2
say it's
4/4s for 7. That's
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. Voltaic Servant, 2 mana, 1/3. Beginning of your end step, untap target artifact. I mean, sure.
That's fine.
It's fine. It's a historic.
Yeah.
Warcry Phoenix, 3 in a red. 2/2 flying haste. Whenever you attack with 3 more creatures, you may pay 3. If you do, return Warcry Phoenix from the graveyard to the battlefield, tapped and attacking.
Not too bad.
It's
Not too
fine.
bad. I think there are better Phoenixes out there, though.
Yeah. There's one they printed in a recent set that's really good.
Yeah, from Rivals of Ixalan. That's a very good card. Yeah.
So we got Warlord's Fury, red sorcery. Creature you control gain first strike until end of turn. Draw a card, but it's a sorcery, so.
Yeah.
But it's a cantrip in red. I mean, I think there's been some before, but that's,
That's something, yeah.
I think red should have more cantrips.
It should. It really should.
Whisper, because that's like kind of a red thing, right? Like, I don't know. It seems kind of red.
Yeah,
all right,
in the deck.
Yeah. Whisper, Blood Liturgist. 3 in a black, human cleric. 2/2. Tap it, sacrifice 2. Oh my god. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the. This guy wants you to do so much.
Yeah.
Like, forget that guy. All right.
I think that's an uncommon. You think? I mean, to me, that almost feels like a common.
Yeah, he's legend. I don't know. I hope he's not a rare, but
You think they have common legendary creatures in this set?
Common ones? I don't know. Maybe the lowest they'll go is uncommon. And that's it. We've covered all these other 2 wizard spells already.
Okay. All right. So first thoughts. What are the best cards in this set?
Best cards so far?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. I like the white red guy with the life link and the damage and the gain life thing.
Okay.
I again, I'll say I like the Teferi Planeswalker. I know you don't.
Sure.
I like him though. I like Mawin, the Nurturer. Mawin, the Nurturer. Llanowar Elves is the best card that's been spoiled so far. Like just on power level wise, just letting you know.
And that card's proven.
Yeah, that card is proved, tried and true.
Yeah.
Jai Ballard's cool, but I don't see her seeing playing standard or anything.
Okay.
And everything else ranges from garbage to okay.
Yeah.
Or there are some cool cards. I'll be saying that there's cool cards,
sure.
But there's the Black Blade. Oh, I love that equipment. That card's cool.
Yeah.
I love that card.
That'll probably be legendary. You think?
That'll be mythic. You mean?
Mythic. Yeah, that's what I mean. It is legendary. Yeah. Do you think it'll be a mythic rare?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm guessing because, okay, I know the Planeswalkers are going to be mythic, but besides that, it's hard to kind of tell what the mythics are.
Yeah. Oh, the Knight of Wind, the one that makes knights and then destroys creatures based on how much knights you control. Yeah. That guy's cool.
That's
a
a
girl.
Card, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a girl, but
yeah,
I think Ariel is a girl's name, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Could be anything. Could be a disabled midget Muslim or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, those would be my favorite cards that I remember. I hate Dub. Dub is stupid.
Yeah.
Most of the sagas are awful. I think I saw 2 or 3 that I thought were okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the ape guy, the Gron the Lonely King. He's the ape guy. He's cool. I can't wait to see that. I actually don't mind some of the legendary. Okay, there's a lot of the legendaries that I do like this Muldrotha guy. This guy's cool.
Yeah.
But some of them are just misses in my opinion. I like the Umezawa guy. The fact that they decided to include an Umezawa in this set, I think, is awesome.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, I personally have planned on building a Kamigawa cube if they ever make a return to Kamigawa and I can mix the cards. But I also wanted to include any cards they printed that are Kamigawa themed that
Sure.
aren't in Kamigawa sets, and the Umezawa's the ones they printed back in Legends, and this one would count for me.
Yes.
Uh,
Also,
so
Kothafed, the demon from Origins, I think.
was he
Isn't
from
he?
Kamigawa?
Well, yeah, he like lives on the Kamigawa plane. He was like the first demon that Liliana defeated. They printed him in a core set, but he's from Kamigawa.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. So that's cool. So I was gonna do research on that when I was actually gonna build the cube.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not working on it right now. I just have it as an idea. But yeah. Favorite cards you've seen? Sorry, I've been talking.
I like Jaya Ballard's probably my number one favorite card. Broken Bond, the one green sorcery that destroys artifact or enchantment and then lets you put a land from your hand on the battlefield. I think that's probably one of the most powerful cards in the set.
That card is very good. It's one. You mean one and a green, right? Not just one green.
Yeah.
Yeah. One.
Okay. But it's a very it's a really good utility card. I think that Jaya Ballard and maybe to a lesser extent that Dark Deal thing, the 4 mana, draw 2 cards, but yeah, I think that's an okay card. Like I might play that in cube. I don't know.
Yeah, my favorite card here, Time of Ice, would definitely be up there.
Oh wait, and I like Daragaz too, the dragon, because he's like one of my favorite cards from the past. So
all right, see, I'm excited because I'm thinking a lot of commons and uncommons haven't been spoiled yet. I'm hoping to see some cool stuff from that. I'm gonna guess this is most of the rares in the set, though, if not all of them.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Blackblade Reforged. Oh man, that card's gonna be cool. I can't wait to see the art on that. I hope it's good. Yeah, but that's about it. I mean, I like that they brought back the check lands. That's definitely a positive for me.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, so that's our thoughts on the Dominaria leaks. We'll probably go over more spoilers when they get released. Do you want to cut it here, RC, or do we want to go over a video? Or
yeah, sure. All right, so let's talk about. Well, to continue the Magic discussion, let's talk a little bit about the state of the game outside of this Dominaria set. You prior to us recording this podcast today, you showed me a video from Rudy at Alpha Investments. He's kind of a big name in the Magic YouTube world, and he always talks about he buys a lot of Magic product, and I guess he speculates on what he thinks is going to gain value over time, and he's been doing that for a while. And because he invests so heavily in the game, I imagine he has created these contacts within the company and some people that are in larger distribution chains. So he's able to kind of get an idea of print runs and what's going on with distribution and printing of Magic product. And what he was saying in this latest video that you showed me was that one of the newer sets, Hour of Devastation. I mean, it's not the newest set, but it's still in standard and a newish set. They've canceled printing a year early, is what he's saying, and that basically doesn't bode well for the future of the game.
Yeah, no matter how bad a set has been in Magic, I don't think they've ever canceled printing an entire year early. If they have, let us know. Like, comment, and subscribe if they have, and send us an email. But at GCAP podcast at gmail.com. But yeah, no, this does not bode well for them.
No.
They are way more focused on policing their players' speech and their behavior online than they are in actually fixing the game and making it so people actually want to play, that FNM attendance isn't down. I talked to people from local store, they're like, oh, no, Magic's fine, but they can't fire standard at their FNMs.
Right.
If you can't fire standard at your FNM, there's a problem, right? Yeah. This isn't the glory days. Most of my friends who play Magic, or I would consider good friends, don't play anymore, or at least don't play regularly.
True. Yeah, and I wanted to point out I don't go to the Magic main website that often, but I went a few days ago, and I noticed that on their main article page, they have this little video section where they have like somebody from not from within Wizards, but I guess it's like a promoted video talking about the Masters 25 best Pauper cards. Like they're trying to like plug Pauper now, which to me is like a sign of like, okay, Standard sucks. Don't push Standard, push Pauper, because like that's a fallback format that I almost feel like that's a format, since there's a low barrier of entry as far as like cost goes. That's like something they can push as like a last ditch effort to like, hey, don't leave the game yet. This is still fun and it's not going to cost you that much. Like, give this a shot. Because I mean, if Standard doesn't do well, they can't just be like, hey, play Legacy, because then like the price tag is like quadrupled. But if they push Pauper, it's a more realistic way of trying to catch somebody as they're on their way out the door.
Yeah, no, you got that 100% right. And like basically they're using Pauper as like, hey, look at this while we try to fix Standard real quick. Yeah.
In the game shop that you and I, are tied to, I've been seeing more things where they're posting like, oh, FNM is going to be doing Pauper this week, and I mean, 2 or 3 years ago, nobody ever talked about Pauper, even though it was still a format. And the fact that it is being spoken about more, I think, is more evidence that Standard is weak.
I looked at that same post and I saw someone say like, hey, I want to play Standard. And one guy, and he's like, do you have 7 friends? Saying that they can't even get 8 people to fire a Standard event.
Right.
Like, this is a place that used to have like 50 people at FNM sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's at the high estimate, but like.
And did you see those like those competitive decks that they're re-releasing?
Yeah,
I forget what they're called, but they have like Heart of Kieran in them, and like these like mythic rares that like were pretty expensive a while ago.
Challenger decks, I think, is what they're called.
Challenger decks, okay.
And yes, I did see those. I actually like those.
Sure.
Yeah, they're a Wizard's way of cashing in on cards that are about to rotate. But I think they're way better than event decks ever were. And
do you think it's like when they print those, it's like a strategy to try to keep people from leaving the game? They're like, here, quick, buy this, and like you can still be competitive.
Yes, I think this is a desperation move. I think it's a good one. I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it's a boon to local stores, because if they don't sell them outright, they can sell the singles inside them and still make money on buying them. The local game stores. So I see that as a positive. It's a boon. Anything that's a boon to local game stores is a positive for the game. So I think that's good. It's just the thing is the bad is outweighing the good. And like Rudy said in that video, like all they're focused on is like pushing their agenda, push the agenda, like inclusion, like. But by the time they push everything they want to push, the game's going to die. They're not going to have enough players because they're not even focusing on the one thing that they need to focus on, which is the quality of the product,
making the game good.
And making the game good, like making it fun, making people want to play the game, making the people proud they play the game.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
And they just don't do that, and it's sad. Because I love the game so much, it's sad. And anyone who says that like, oh well, Magic can't be around forever, and I don't care if it like, well, go away then. I don't want to talk to you, because it's like there's a very negative view of life you have, and
not like us. We're not negative at all.
No, we're negative, but the thing is like I'm optimistic though. I could just see them. The thing is like I could find like 2 things that they fixed it, the game would explode and be amazing again.
Sure.
Like if they just made Standard fun again.
Yeah. And
the card stock wasn't shit. If they just I don't care what agenda they want to push on the cards, honestly. Like, yeah, I'd probably complain about that stuff, but I wouldn't be as like voracious about it if at least the cards weren't damaged when I opened them and I could have fun at my local Standard tournament.
Sure. Sure.
So that's about all I have to say about that. So RC, do you want to watch this video?
Yeah.
I think
let's go to the lighter side of things. Let's take a little trip down memory lane to yesteryear when times were simpler. We're going to play a little video here, and Mike and I will we'll describe pertinent things as they come up. This was a promotional video released by Magic when their marketing whizzes had their finger on the pulse and they knew exactly what the player base wanted. And I think if they could somehow go back to that simpler time, they might be able to wrangle in some more players. So let's watch.
Okay.
Yes. What would you like to say,
Yes.
Mike?
Go ahead.
We'll pause it periodically and fill you in, but
Okay.
We're gonna go forward.
Oh, hiya, Todd.
Hey, Wooburg, how you doing, man? Are you about ready to go to Friday Night Magic?
Yeah, I haven't kicked your in public since last week.
I don't.
Just they do bleep out the expletives here because they're trying to keep it family friendly.
But why are there even expletives to bleep out? Like that immediately hit me as what? Like they actually have expletives to bleep out?
Just to set the stage here, we got two characters. Young, physically fit, decently good-looking guy, and his purple puppet companion. Living in his bachelor pad where he's got nothing but magic memorabilia all around, and they're really excited to go to F&M.
Games last week.
Yeah, so who cares about winning games? I had fun. I had the most fun. And I got a prize card.
Mike, could you tell which one is the puppet based on the voice?
Yeah, I can tell which one is the puppet based on the voice. I got a prize card. I like how they can't even call them what they are in the pro. Like, I'm pretty sure they were still called promos back in the day, but they don't even call them that in the video. I think it's just so weird.
It is weird, yeah.
Like, this role on television, like, whatever. Go ahead.
My prize card.
You didn't get a prize card.
I gave it to you. Look, did you call the store?
What do you mean, did I call the store?
I mean, did you call the store that we looked up online at the Magic website where we're going to go and play Magic?
Oh, that store.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if you can pick up, but the repartee these two have are really great.
Yeah, no.
It's making me chuckle as I'm watching, and it's hard for me to stop from laughing.
Look, just give them a call so we know when they're starting, all right? I'm going to go and get ready.
Is this the store that runs Friday Night Magic? Oh, good. What time do you start? Because me and a buddy want to come down and play. He's kind of a noob.
Ask about the format and entry fees.
The noob wants to know about the format and entry fees. Okay, thank you. Oh, little newbie.
You're the newbie.
Yeah. Tonight's a sealed tournament, so you're going to need some money.
I can't find my wallet.
Oh, well, I can loan you a few dollars.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're...
Want to pause it real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so I took offense to that because sealed tournaments cost the most money out of any tournament, and it's not just a few dollars to play sealed. Like,
So,
like if you're gonna do it to like a kid or whatever, this supposed to be promotional to kids. They're like, Mom, I only need a few dollars to go play. They're like, oh, how much is a few? 30.
the puppet is like dedicated to the long con. He's like out to like get this guy's wallet, I think.
Yeah, I guess, but it's I was offended by that. But go ahead.
This morning after she cooked me breakfast.
Oh, okay. Stop that real quick. Sorry, I forgot about that part.
All right, I'll back it up a little bit so we can all listen to that sick burn that was delivered by the puppet. All right, here we go.
This is a thing for kids, and it's a guy. He's making like "I had sex with your mom" joke.
Right.
It's what? Ruth. Okay, all right. Go ahead. Sorry.
Here goes.
Your mom gave me some money this morning after she cooked me breakfast.
And I took my puppet dick out of her pussy.
I mean, that is an insult you'd probably hear at F&M, honestly. That's the quality of human being usually. But, like, that shouldn't be in your advertisement.
Yeah, it's hard to... I don't know what they were going for. Like, what did they think the target age range was here?
Yeah. Maybe, like, teenagers, I guess? I don't know.
I mean, are Jim Henson puppet... Like, it's not a real Jim Henson puppet, but it looks like one. Are they considered cool by, like, anybody who's older than, like, 7 or 8?
I don't know.
I mean, it looks like a Sesame Street puppet.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Well, I invited a couple of my friends, so they should be showing
You've got
up.
friends?
Yes, I've got friends.
Other than me?
Yeah, but
All right, he's like looking down towards the floor now with his like cross-eyed little puppet eyes. Not great control over the.
not the greatest puppeteer.
No, not
there.
the greatest puppeteer. I mean, you got to give the kid credit though. He's trying to act as best he can, opposite this puppet.
Are they real people?
yes, they're real people. Now, can you just be nice? They're gonna be hanging out. Just be nice.
Hey, it's me. I'm always nice. Well, you know, to other people.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. You playing Magic? Well, if you want to trade when this game's done, I brought my trading binder, and I've got some really cool... Holy Baneslayer Angel!
You can't see it now, but he actually has pulled out his genitals on the table and he's displaying it.
I don't know if that's true or saying.
All right, well, we'll keep playing.
But as someone who had that happen to him in a competitive tournament, I think
You've had that happen?
yeah, where someone has just like called out a card in my hand while I'm in the middle of a match.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's happened to me before. It's not a great experience, but whatever. The guy's reaction is pretty mild considering what most Magic players' reaction would be to that.
Yeah.
But most Magic players are either like autistic or violent idiots. So sorry, I don't mean to. I'm like alienating our fan base. I'm joking. I'm joking. Oh, my best friends in the world are Magic players. I met playing Magic, and they're the best people in the world. Okay, great people play the game.
All right, we're a little over halfway through this.
Yeah.
As soon as this game is done, looks like it won't take long.
Hey, Wooburg.
Hmm?
Look. Brand new life counter.
Whoa, where'd you get that?
I got it from
Oh, so it was a gift from your mom?
This guy is like a total tool. He spends his money on fat packs.
He's like, I got it from a fat pack.
Whoa.
Whoa! It's just like a regular spin down die. Whoa! I got a new life counter. Except in the new rules, RC, if you didn't know, it's illegal to use dice now to keep track of your life.
Is it really?
Yeah, at competitive REL at least.
Damn.
You have to use pen and paper.
So they're not even going to give those out anymore, are they? The D20s?
Oh, they'll give them out. Don't give
You just
them out.
won't be allowed to use them. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're just not allowed to use them. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Burn!
So, did you bring everything you needed?
What do you mean, did I bring everything I need? Of course I brought everything I need. What kind of a newbie question is... Oh,
What?
I forgot my extra card sleeves. Oh, me and Todd really enjoy playing here. Even if you see him crying, he's still having fun. He's kind of a noob.
He's like not talking to anybody in particular. He's like standing several feet away from the counter, talking on the space. He might be autistic. I don't know.
Yeah, we know. He's a little talkative to be autistic, but yeah, I guess.
Uber, did you buy some snacks?
I didn't need to. Check this out. I also got a deck box. And I got some extra token cards for my white weenie deck. Weenie.
Uber, is that my wallet in your backpack? Are those?
Would you laugh at that if you were like 12 or 13 years old?
No, there's
It's
no
a lame
way.
joke for them. even.
Like SpongeBob has way better quality jokes than
Yeah.
this has. I don't.
I wonder how much
this,
money they threw at this thing.
Yeah, that and this next part that's right about to play
Yeah.
is very confusing to me.
Yeah.
Why this is included. All right, go ahead.
Waffles? No, why the fuck would I bring waffles? Those are pancakes.
I told you, you're going to get syrup all over your cards again.
Why do you think I bought the extra sleeves? Okay, who wants to be my first victim?
Stop it there. I actually have seen someone say that exact thing in a Magic tournament before.
So what's my next victim?
Yeah, and not only and also do the evil laugh.
Did he tilt his head back?
Yeah,
Tilted his head back and yelled it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, I've seen that's actually pretty realistic. You might see that at a tournament.
All right, so we did do some research here.
And just the part about why would he say why do you have waffles but they're clearly pancakes, not waffles? But he also has pancakes.
He's an imbecile.
Yeah, but why does my only problem is why does the dude not immediately recognize them as pancakes and not waffles?
That is probably one of the most disturbing things in the video. That really breaks the whole reality thing here for me.
I know you're making fun of me right now, but
honestly, it would have been better if he was like chocolate chip pancakes, and he was like, no, they're blueberry pancakes. At least there's some similarity there.
Yeah, exactly. But instead we get waffles.
Waffle is completely different from a pancake.
Well, it's very easily recognizable what's a waffle and what's a pancake. Right. I can't wait to put the timestamp in this video where we talk about waffles and pancakes. Go on.
All right.
3 out of 5. Please, please, please. You'll keep using that word.
This is a little montage of him losing or winning his games.
I do not think it means what you think it means.
I didn't get what the Princess Bride reference was for.
I don't know. Some of these are probably quotes from shitty things I'm unaware of.
Yeah.
Wait. Why? Oh, that's why. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, you want to do it again next week?
You bet your I do. Thanks for the prize.
God, such a foul mouth on that guy.
No problem.
There you go. The best night of the week. That's how it ends.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, if I didn't know anything about this game and I saw that would make me want to play.
It seems to be your reaction. You're to a lot of this stuff, RC. You seem to like. I think you like a lot of the stuff Wizards does. Honestly,
really. I mean, they know how to appeal to me, and I'm glad they spend millions of dollars trying to figure it out because it's worth it.
It's worth it to know what your player base wants. This is what they want. Bring Wooburg back. I'm gonna type that into the next Twitch stream of a Magic tournament and get banned immediately.
Never forget Wooburg.
I wonder if the puppet was destroyed or is in a storage closet.
They probably put him in a time capsule and threw him in the ocean or something. It's equivalent to the vault, Walt Disney's vault, underneath Disney World. It's locked away for no one to find.
Exactly. Oh man! All right. So, do we want to do one more thing, or are you done?
We can do. Yeah, let's do one more thing.
It's already a mega episode at this point.
This is a mega episode. Our fans are gonna love us for this. We're at 2.5 hours now, but I just wanted to briefly touch on something that's going in the real world scenario. I know we're talking a lot about a little fictitious little card game, but this is actually something that is affecting the world or could stand to affect the world in a very big way. And touching back on artificial intelligence, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, I just wanted to expand upon some of those ideas. We were talking a little bit about Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and how they both have a different take on AI and what they think it's capable of. Mark Zuckerberg's really pro AI and he wants to see it go, to whatever limits it can reach. Elon Musk thinks it's something that we shouldn't mess with too much. And one of his quotes is that he thinks with artificial intelligence, if we keep researching into it, he actually uses the phrase summoning a demon. And that's, I think Elon Musk is a pretty smart guy. Some of my instincts are to kind of side with that line of thinking. And I guess what I'm getting at is, have you ever seen videos of these AI programs solving problems? I forget what it is. It's 100 times or 1,000 times faster than the human brain can solve a problem.
Yeah.
And like if you combine that computational power with the physical like bodies, I guess they're building for these robots. There's a company called Boston Dynamics that has have you ever seen videos of the robot that like it looks humanoid and it like walks around and like picks up a box? You were talking about how you saw one that could like open a door.
Yeah,
it's like that type of robot. So if you could put that computational power into that type of like body, I mean, you could make a very powerful weapon. And I guess the main point I'm getting to is the country of Saudi Arabia recently granted citizenship to one of these humanoid android things called Sophia that has some sort of artificial intelligence in it, and I don't think that model is as intelligent as like one of these things that will like start thinking for itself or anything like that. But the fact that the government of Saudi Arabia wants to recognize an artificial being at this point in our history as a citizen, I think is kind of ominous, and it shows where the minds of the globalists are at. That most of them seem to be on board to fully embrace these things and keep pushing forward with artificial intelligence. What do you think about that, Mike?
I think Saudi Arabia is just doing that to get press for whatever program. On a side note, I know this isn't very serious, but the guy they always show in the videos with the Sophia robot is really creepy looking. He's exactly who I imagine destroying the world with artificial intelligence.
The guy who questioned her, and he's like, "Do you want to destroy all humans?" And she's like, "Oh yes, I will." Haha. And she's like making jokes. The guy like talking to her.
Yeah, that guy. That guy looks weird. Also, I love how they grant. So, like, I'm pretty sure that robot has more rights than women in that country.
Yes, I know.
So, I think because the robot doesn't have to wear a burqa, but the women do. So, that there you go. But like I said on the last time we talked about this, of all like the doomsday scenarios that people can come up with, artificial intelligence doing something horrible to humanity is very realistic to me, or at least the most realistic out of any doomsday scenario people have come up with. Like,
a couple of years ago, there was like this whole zombie craze of like, oh, zombie apocalypse and all this shit. It's like that's never going to happen. But like robots taking over the world, that will happen if we like let it get out of control.
Yeah, if we let them do it. Yeah, the thing is, that's the thing with AI is it would just be man, just their own folly, it's like such an ironic death for man because it would just be because we are defined by our ability to innovate as a species.
Yes.
And basically we're just going to innovate to the point where we create something that can do it better than us and it just kills us. Which I mean, honestly, it's a fitting end for humanity, but I think that's a reason to like Elon Musk wants to colonize other planets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's a reason to do that because if something happens to Earth for whatever reason, like even if it isn't AI, like say like a meteor like hits the Earth or something, right? Like we have a colony on other, like humans go on, you know. I think it'd be pretty important, honestly. Honestly, I see Mars as being. I know we were supposed to talk about AI, but Elon Musk is one of the guys like working on AI, or at least knows about it and wants to either control it or stop it or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he's also working on this like space program where he wants to colonize Mars or other planets or whatever. And not only like the thing is, an AI would also like that's actually I know we're talking about fiction here, but in science fiction, it's very common for space travel to require AI. Because
on the ship and stuff.
Exactly, because if we ever like interstellar travel would probably require the type of thing that could do computational math at the rate an AI could.
Sure.
Right. So I think it's important to research it to a point, but we have to be very careful with it. Like it's not something you can go fast and hard with, because if you just make the wrong thing, it's over, you know.
Right.
Like if you just make something that is able to just access our nuclear arsenal, for example, it's over. Like you had what was it called? What's that movie called in the 80s? Patriot Games? Is that what it was called?
It sounds familiar, but I haven't seen Patriot Games.
I'm pretty sure it's called Patriot Games. So it's a movie about an AI. It's an AI movie that the government creates to basically be the ultimate defense system. Basically, it's like it spends its time running simulations of World War III, basically between U.S. and Russia, and like trying to figure out the best way to fight it to minimize casualties if we ever came to nuclear war.
Sure.
But basically, it like goes rogue for some reason because it basically, if you've ever read the Star Trek book, The Prime Directive, it basically starts creating that kind of scenario. So it'll like starts like trying to launch World War III itself by faking. For example, it'll show like Russian planes on radar about to come bomb, or Russian missiles or whatever about to come destroy California or something.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not actually there. It's just, but it's like super realistic to the people in charge of the military, and they don't understand what's going on, and so they're thinking like, oh well, we have to retaliate and launch our missiles, right? But there's no actual missiles on the way, and so it's about a scientist and like a kid and like his girlfriend, I think.
Okay, so the AI has somehow determined that it has to eliminate humanity in order for it to take over and be like the dominant entity on the planet. So that's why it's trying to play like psychological games with the US and the Soviets. Is that
basically it's basically faking the start of World War III to get the World War III to actually start to eliminate humanity for some reason. Sorry, I haven't seen it in a while, but that's the kind of thing I could see an AI doing. Like if we put one in charge of not only was it supposed to like simulate World War III, it was also supposed to just create the best defenses that U.S. could possibly have for World War III. So like you could see them doing something like that where they could put an AI in charge of coming up with the best strategy, like mathematically, for defeating certain enemies we have in the world, right?
Yeah.
But if it gains control of the systems in our military, it could spell doom for humanity, right?
Yeah.
Especially with like drones and stuff, it'd be able to pilot aircraft itself. You know, an AI would be able to do that.
Yeah.
That's why I'd be very worried about it, because I could see that happening within the next 50 years. You know.
Okay, so let's just follow this line of reasoning or thought down. So because AI taking over humanity has been shown in several science fiction storylines. So say this supercomputer AI is able to somehow subdue humanity and gain control over Earth for all intents and purposes. What do you think the next step would be? What would it do? How would it operate? If you were to just guess.
If I were to guess, I would guess it would be something like it would be sort of like the Terminator, for the example that it would consider its own self-preservation its highest thing. That's why it would be eliminating humanity.
Okay.
So it would figure out a way to create factories, like self-automated factories, to keep it running and make sure that its power supply didn't go out. That would be its first priority.
Yes.
But once that was all taken care of, I would assume it would start trying to spread its influence as far as possible. So I actually would imagine an AI would try to colonize space for itself.
Yeah.
Like it would just try to, because like to an AI, it seems to have infinite time, basically,
right.
To do whatever it wants. So I would see the AI as just colonizing space. Like it'd almost become like the Borg, I guess, from Star Trek, but not really. It wouldn't be like that. It would just be like a thing that's only out for itself, trying to colonize space.
Do you think there are any? People say like, oh yeah, the universe is like so big. There's like all these other races out there. Do you think there could be any AI races already in existence? Like,
is it possible? Yes. Do I think so? No.
You don't think so? Okay.
Well, I'm of the opinion I don't think there's any races outside of the human race that are sapient in the universe. I know everyone would like jump down my throat and say, "Oh, it has to be impossible. The universe is so big." I'm like, well, if the universe is so big, I think if there was one that advanced, we would have run into them by now.
These are topics for future shows because this is something I'm very interested in: life on other planets and that sort of thing.
Sure. The thing is I don't deny the possibility. I just believe myself that it wouldn't make much sense. I don't see the evidence for it. For me, it could be for a different show. I apologize, but as a quick thing, the evidence, for example, there was I'll have to look this up for a show, but there was a scientist who came up with a criteria for what a planet would have to do to sustain life, right? And he was like, this, all you need is this. Like, this is what Earth has. All you need is this. And there's X amount of planets in the universe, most likely, that could sustain life, right? But then we start searching deep space with our deep telescopes and like all the stuff and like all those places that could, we start looking through other solar systems, basically, for planets that could sustain life, but none of them do, right? And then the number that could sustain life goes from like this giant number to a very small number that we aren't very sure of, basically. And to me, that just shows that Earth is not only a special case, but a unique case. And I mean unique in the way that there's only one. In my opinion. And like I said, it's possible that there are other races and life forms and all this other stuff. I just don't think I don't think it's very likely. And two, I choose to believe there isn't because it makes more sense to me. That's just that.
That's fair. All right.
What if there was an AI race out there?
Yeah.
Say we encountered one. Do you think we'd stand a chance or no?
Well, I don't know, because I guess it would depend on what how the AI evolved, so to speak. I could definitely see the scenario you're talking about where it's self-preservation is all that it cares about, and so it would be like a destroying type of force. I recently saw the movie AI, the Steven Spielberg film, which I know you're not really a fan of, but in that movie, the movie is an interesting story, kind of reminiscent of Pinocchio, but halfway through the movie or 3/4 of the way through the movie, a very weird event happens where the main boy, for David, he gets caught under some ice, and then 1,000 years pass or 3,000 years pass or something like that. Do you remember that part in the movie?
Yeah, no, I remember that part of the movie very clearly.
I didn't expect the movie to go in that direction, but thousands of years suddenly pass by, and he's thawed out of the ice by these super evolved AI powered mech beings, and they have a humanoid shape, and they seem very empathetic and kind and stuff. And I don't know if you were given so much time at such a high computational power, would an artificial intelligence kind of go that way?
Well, the thing is I think the thing with those beings, right, is that those are just what they look like to him. That's what they appear to him, because to not confuse him. Because I think the whole point is I think they were almost non-corporeal at a point. They didn't really have. Was it that way where they didn't really have the way they appeared was just so they could appear? Because weren't they they said they actually non-corporeal beings, or not corporeal? That's not the word I'm looking for. Sorry, it's they evolved past the need for a body, basically.
Okay.
I thought, I could be wrong. All right, we'll just.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I have not seen AI in a while, so okay. But I that
was the first time that made me think oh yeah, maybe if robots did evolve with a lot of time, maybe they would go in that direction, because it's, I don't know, maybe it's just a very human instinct, but the more intelligent you get and the more you are exposed to things in the universe, I could see where maybe you would evolve towards kind of a neutral to kind type of being. Not.
I honestly, I see them being violent and confused. Honestly, for being that kind of I just look at today, right? Like, for example, okay, so I'm going to preface this by saying I don't consider these rules absolute. There's very glaring and obvious exceptions to what I'm saying here.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, okay, in the Western world at least, right, which is what I consider to be the best part of the world.
Yeah.
It has the most rights, the most happiness, the most everything.
Yeah.
Most flourishing, whatever. For the longest time, it survived and flourished under having large amounts of, I'll say, belief.
Okay.
Right? And I think that when you take belief away from man, they start looking for answers in other places.
Mm-hmm.
And all those places end with them destroying things, in my opinion. Can
you give me an example of a place in the world today that doesn't have strong beliefs, and what and how they are destroying something?
All right, I will look at China.
Okay.
Which is basically an atheist society that, while is economically flourishing, has very unhappy people. They have to put nets around the factories to make sure people don't jump and kill themselves.
Yeah.
They live under an oppressive regime that at any point can take them away and put them in prison if they don't agree with the central party. Yeah, I agree they're not really communist anymore because they've embraced capitalism to grow their economy.
Okay.
But they are still very totalitarian in their laws and the way they think. So that would be an example. And here's the thing, and I don't mean it on an individual level. So individual people who are religious or non-religious can be anything.
Yes.
I just mean on the whole, and I don't mean the thing is like, I don't even follow a religion really. All I think is that people should believe in a higher power to just make themselves happier. Like, to me, like every study, look for in the West at least, like I exclude Islam, which I think is a religion that creates the most unhappiness and evil in the world. But when you look at the West or Christianity specifically, people who believe, or at least not even just Christianity, people who believe in God are happier and live longer than people who don't, on average.
Okay.
And to me, that just it's a very glaring difference, and I can tell from the people I talk to, like the people, and like I said, I don't mean this as a rule for everyone. I just mean in general. When I talk to people at work, for example, the people who are atheists are very cynical about life and talk about like killing themselves and like very negative things all the time. I understand we're negative, but I mean to be funny about it.
Yeah.
I have a very positive view on life. I'm very happy.
Yes, you are.
In general. And the thing is like I was an atheist for a lot of my life, or most of what I would consider my adulthood so far.
Mm-hmm.
I've only recently decided to become what I would call a deist, or at least just believe in God.
Okay.
And I do this out of, and the thing is I don't even do it out of like some sort of righteousness. I don't think it's right to believe in like some sort of like moral thing. It's more of just a happiness thing. And the thing is, I think that beings without God have trouble finding permanent happiness because of their mortality, right? Because I think that's the key, is when you believe that there's nothing after you die, that is the worst possible scenario. Like I think even humans would rather have hell than have nothing, because at least they believe that they exist after they die, whereas instead of just thinking of the void when they die, like nothing happens and like you just don't exist anymore. Right. And I think a being that believes that it will just not exist when it ceases existing in this world will always be restless and will never be able to settle for anything. And I know that's a long roundabout way of getting that, but that's how I see an AI. I see an AI as something that will always be restless and never be able to stop at any point. Like to gain whatever it wants to gain in this world and to live and to gain which would be immortality, because it believe that there's nothing after it dies, right?
But couldn't a very strong AI basically, you could argue it already has achieved immortality?
Well, no, yeah, it would achieve immortality, but the thing is, okay, it would achieve immortality, but that would be its main concern. is keeping its immortality, right? And I don't see an AI whose top priority is maintaining its immortality becoming kind and moderate in its ways of thinking. I mean, the thing is like, I'm just a lowly guy, I don't know for sure, but I just don't see it that way. Like I see it as always being hungry for more and more security, more this, more that. I don't see it ever like becoming like settled with what it has.
Well, do you think then when we start creating AIs that are actually smart enough to grasp some of these like bigger concepts, would it be important to kind of indoctrinate them with, or start them from...
I think it's to indoctrinate them with mortality is what you'd have to do. Like that's why I brought this up in private conversations, and I know it's fiction, but the way they do AI in the Halo universe is or at least the smart ones, or the ones that have like feelings, basically, that we would consider like a full AI, is they're like made of someone's like pattern of someone's brain, basically. And they're so smart that the heat they produce over time and all the connections they make in their memories will eventually kill them. Like they will eventually think themselves to death over like I think it's like 10 years or something they can totally last before they die. Right. And but the thing I'm not saying that's realistic or we're able to do that, but with an AI, but I think it should be an option or to look at, to find a way to know, for the AI to know that no matter what it does, it'll die within a certain period of time. And once you then it'll have the same idea of mortality that humans have, which I think is a reason for a lot of good. Like human mortality is a reason for a lot of good in the world, because people know they're not going to be around forever, so they do good things. Or I understand there's also people who take that opportunity to do bad things because they know they're not going to be around forever. I think on the whole, the idea of mortality leads to more good than bad. So that's what I think would be important. Like if you were going to actually create a smart AI that was smarter than a human and could think faster and do all this stuff, if you gave it the sense of mortality just like humans did, it might come up with a different conclusion other than I need to only care for myself and nothing else. That's how I feel. What do you think?
I can see what you're saying. I see the importance of faith and kind of always having like a goal that you're striving for, and if there is no destiny for you after death, then what are you striving for exactly? Like I get that concept. Excuse me, I just don't know how to I don't know how to apply that to creating an AI where it's like a beneficial situation for a human being without it turning into this. Because I do follow your line of thinking where
it's not about striving, it's about contentment. It's about being able. So like a phrase I use when trying to talk to people now about faith or whatever is relaxed confidence. It's knowing that yes, it's okay to it's okay for you to do everything you want to do in life and to strive and be successful and do all this stuff. But the thing is like if you do have faith, you get the added bonus of going through life knowing that you're taken care of no matter what happens, right? Like and like even if you fail, good things are still going to come to you. Like that's the added. But like you get the like that's why to me that's why religious people are happier. Is like even if bad stuff happens in their life, they always have something to fall back on. Whereas if you're an atheist and bad stuff happens in your life, it's either all your fault or all other people's fault, and either way of thinking about that is very unhealthy.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't have a very traditional view of religion. Like I don't like, for example, I don't believe in hell. Like I don't think hell exists. So like I don't think people have to be worried about that.
Sure.
But we can always go over this on another podcast. We're going really long, but that's what I mean. Like I just wanted to bring that back to. I think the idea of immortality would be very important for an AI. Like knowing that even if I kill all humans on Earth, but I still die in 9 years. Like I don't think an AI would do that. Like it would more likely do the thing that we would want it to do, which would be to service humanity to make humanity better.
Yeah.
I think it would find purpose in that rather than in destroying it.
Okay.
We would just have to make sure that whatever we did to make sure the AI had mortality was not able to be undone in any way whatsoever.
Yeah. Something that like forcibly deteriorates that can't be reversed.
Yeah.
I think in Blade Runner, the androids work like that, where they are given they're made out of like materials that degrade after a certain amount of time. There's no way to get them to live longer, so they have a limited life. Maybe that's the reason why those, like, you know, in the Halo universe and in the Blade Runner universe, maybe that's the reason why those things have mortality, is so that they function more positively. That could be.
Like, could you imagine how much of a dick a human would be if he was immortal?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Vampire, right? And vampires are always dicks.
Yeah, vampires are like never nice. You know what I mean? So,
did you ever see the movie Bicentennial Man?
No, I think.
Robin Williams.
Oh, is it the one where he runs for president or something?
No, he starts out as a robot, like a helper robot.
Oh, okay.
Over time, he lives through, I guess, 1 or 2 generations of a family. But over that time, he creates like artificial organs and stuff, and then he like slowly makes himself like more biological. And by the end of the movie, he's able to actually die. That's like one of the things he wants to do, is to like put himself together, make himself a human, and then die. And it's been a while since I've seen that movie, but that has to do with like he's given immortality to start, but he wants to be human, and I don't know.
Sure, and I think that's a good way. That's a good attitude for an AI to have. If we were able to make an AI that had the attitude of it wants to die someday, then yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be a great idea. My problem is I think it'd be very tough to. Honestly, it'd be very tough to make an AI in general, but just the path we're going, I don't think people. I hope they are, but I don't think people are thinking about it that way. At least the people working on AIs, like they're just thinking they want to make the most powerful thing as fast as quick possible.
Yes,
They're not thinking of the consequences, which is why we need more people like Elon Musk in control of these things, rather than Zuckerman.
Zuckerman, yeah. All right. Well, we can always bring up this topic again because I think there's a lot more to flesh out. But we're approaching the 3-hour mark, so maybe we should. Yeah,
it's been a long one. This is a mega episode. I'm sure everyone's gonna be happy about this one.
Yeah.
All right, we can go over it again later. I had another video I wanted to share in this episode, but
let's go. Let's end on a clip. Let's end on a little clip.
Okay, it's like 11 minutes long. Do you just still okay or no?
Yeah. You're gonna pause it, or we're gonna talk through it. Like,
yeah, that's my idea.
All
right. I linked it in the Google chat if you want to open it.
Okay.
Hello and welcome back to Magical Tabletop Girls.
This is the transgender individual.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to get her her perspective on it.
Okay.
I'm guessing that the preferred pronoun is her, and I don't mind. The thing is, with me as transgender, if I don't know this person obviously, but if you're like a nice person to me and you're not like any kind of dick or whatever, I don't mind calling you whatever you want me to call you. If as long as it's his or her, because I don't believe in like C and Zer. But
yeah.
But I don't mind that. It's just when you want to force it on me to make me be you want to be a dick. So all right, go ahead.
All right.
My host, Sophia. I apologize for the scenery change today, but they're doing a little bit of construction in my apartment complex. I'm getting really nice new windows. So things are a bit of a mess. Been breathing in dust all day. So if you hear any noise or ruckus in the background or see any strange people just mystically appear, it's because they're doing construction. So hopefully everything will be back to normal soon, and then I'll have nice new windows, so it'll help put less strain on my eyes. I think everything will be great. So moving on. So we got an announcement from the leaks from Dominaria, and it's just as bad as I predicted it was going to be. If you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you'll know that I've been talking tremendously about the encroachment of this cultural Marxist social justice ideology into Magic the Gathering.
Now wait a second, Mike. Do you believe that there's social Marxism in Magic the Gathering?
Oh yes, 100%. It's been for a while.
When did your little alarm bell first go off with that?
Probably when they made Alicia.
When they made what?
Alicia. That's when I first really got aware.
Gender confused person. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right.
And it's reached a fever pitch in Dominaria. They're colonizing Dominaria. I do not expect this set to be good at all. The mechanics look terrible and game breaking, which is really unfortunate. And they've decided, and they being plural, being Wizards of the Coast, have decided, quote, Magic has adopted they as a preferred third-person singular pronoun for a player replacing he or she.
Do you have any opinions on that, Mike?
It's stupid. It's stupid and no one should care about it. This person cares a lot about it, though, and they're going to explain why.
Okay, he or she. I'm just writing this out. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces if you write he or she. And if you write they or there, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 4, I guess, depending on. Oh no, I'm sorry, wrong there. 4 or 5 spaces.
Yeah, I was about to say not 7, it's 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I guess it saves space on the card, but it's useless, really.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but they're going to explain a more evil reason for why this is happening.
All right.
Now, for those of you who are, kind of normies, more casual internet dwellers, there's nothing wrong with that. But what does this mean? Where does this come from? For those of you not familiar with the activism and work of clinical psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson, you will know that this is coming from compelled speech. It's trying to control people to force them to use imaginary pronouns that they identify as non-gendery binary, something that's not real. And where did this come from? Well, Tumblr, basically, and it emerged in the past 4 or 5 years and has continued to grow. And the way these people operated is they co-opted my mental illness, something that used to be called a gender identity disorder until it was renamed. Now, the initial renaming wasn't that big of a deal because when it was in the DSM-4, it was listed under sexual dysfunctions, which really doesn't make much sense. When you hear sexual dysfunctions, you think of erectile dysfunction or the ability to climax or whatever. So it was changed to gender dysphoria, which is more in line with body dysmorphia. But it is still part of the Diagnostics and Strategic Manual of Mental Disorders.
Okay, so just to summarize, using he or she in an improper way is considered a mental part of a mental disorder?
No. What it's wait, what? Say that again?
Using he or she in a traditionally improper way, like being a man but wanting to be called she, or being a woman.
Yeah, that is a mental disorder. Yeah,
that's what the person is saying right now.
Yeah, but being one of the two sexes and then wanting to act like the other or identify as the other is a mental illness.
Okay, and it's written that way in psychological papers right now.
In the handbook that psychologists use to diagnose mental disorders, it is one of the ones listed. Yes.
Gotcha. All right.
Now, what these charlatans did was they co-opted all of the research and, more importantly, the suicide statistics of people who suffer with my mental illness, and they used it to browbeat people into their own ideology. So
I've
heard that there is a very high suicide rate in transgendered people.
Yes, and they co-opted it from. So it's really just it's scientifically proven to just be because of their mental distress caused by the disorder. But they've co-opted it into saying no, they're only committing suicide because society doesn't accept them for some reason.
Of course, all right.
Yeah.
For me, this is kind of a red line. To quote Jean-Luc Picard, the line shall be drawn here, they shall go no further. I can't financially support this, so my boycott will continue long past Dominaria. As far as I'm concerned, the last good Magic set was Conspiracy Take the Crown. Being Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, sorry.
Have decided
I just screwed up the spot on the recording. Would you agree with that statement that Conspiracy Take the Crown was the last best good set?
Yes. I would agree with that.
All right.
to use imaginary pronouns that they identify as non-genderary binary, something that's not real.
Did we already listen to this?
Yes.
Sorry.
Initial renaming wasn't that big of a deal.
A little farther forward.
A little farther forward.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. My first time doing this.
Which is more in line with body dysmorphia.
Still further.
Yeah.
And here, they shall
Yeah,
go.
that's it. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, good.
Financially support this. So my boycott will continue long past Dominaria. As far as I'm concerned, the last good Magic set was Conspiracy Take the Crown. And I will not be buying any sealed product going forward until Wizards of the Coast is under new management. This is beyond ridiculous. For 25 years, women have had a seat at the table and a presence on Magic the Gathering cards. But starting with Dominaria, no more. Wizards of the Coast is literally erasing women from Magic the Gathering. Now, when, 98% of my viewers are male and only 2% are female, well, the cards are just referring to men anyways, right? But representation is important. But we need to remove the women from the cards. Do you see how this works? Are you starting to understand now how absolutely and utterly insane cultural Marxism is?
All right, I have a question.
Yep.
Will, all right, are you aware of the wording on like a Planeswalker like Sarkhan the Mad, where it's something about like he does damage to himself equal to the mana cost. I wonder what a card like that's going to read like in the future.
Yeah, I wonder as well.
I wonder. I don't know.
I'm going to assume it's going to be they and there.
Buy up your Sarkhan's the Mads right now because they're they're never going to print that card.
You can play a Grixis deck with him and Tezzeret Agent of Bolus.
That's right. Super secret tech. All right.
Representation matters, so we need to get rid of the representation of women for these other people. These other people that are using an imaginary gender from co-opting a severe mental illness. And it is a mental illness. I'm sorry, there's nothing normal or healthy about looking down at your genitals when you go to the bathroom and thinking, I'd really like to grab a knife and cut this off right now. There's nothing normal or healthy about that. And they can try to pretend, blah, 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 and so a myriad of pretty little words. But at the end of the day, that's what real gender dysmorphia or gender identity disorder is. Now, for those of you who don't know, I actually created the term transgender in a support group for people like me almost a decade ago. I'm very
Transgender?
Transgender is referring to someone who identifies as trans just to be special or get benefits.
To get the Twitter likes and stuff?
Yeah, well, yeah, or to get financial like there's people who have gotten who get jobs based on being transgender.
This is ridiculous.
Right.
happy that my little baby has all grown up and a part of the lexicon of the internet. But I created it. And I created it for a reason. Because my support group for people who were suffering with my problem were being infiltrated by cross-dressers who thought it was fun and trendy to gender bend like it was the 1980s and they're David Bowie and Prince.
Have you ever seen somebody in a dress at a Magic event who probably shouldn't have been wearing a dress?
Yeah, RC, I was there with you.
Yeah. All right.
And glam rock is just awesome. It's just a costume. I can put on a little bow tie and you can call me a man. Or I can put on a dress and you can call me a woman. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay? And a lot of people would say, well, Tara, you're not even a woman either. And you know what? I'm not even going to argue against that anymore. biologically, you're correct. And right now, the science hasn't completely caught up with the neuropsychology. Now, there is evidence, according to Australian neurologists, that brain scans have indicated that, one, men and women have different brain structures, okay? So there's that. Men and women are biologically different. But individuals such as myself do have cross-brain development before, Steven Crowder, before taking hormone replacement therapy. Yes, hormone replacement therapy will aid in that process. Now, if you want to get all Alex Jones on it, you could say, well, it's the chemicals in the water that are causing that process to happen. But we're not going to go there.
Do you have an Alex Jones impression you'd like to do right now?
1776 will commence again.
The chemicals that they're putting in the water are turning the fish gay.
Buy my water filter. I am just a humble supplement salesman. All right, go ahead.
A high probability that people who actually suffer with this condition, like I do, have a form of neuro pseudohermaphrodism. Basically, my brain was developed in utero female, while my chromosomes were male, and the SRY gene was activated, and therefore my biology became male, while my brain chemistry was already on a pathway to being female, because we all start out as females in the womb, if you didn't know.
That is true.
That's interesting. I didn't know it was like they could pinpoint it down to those different events.
Yes, so that's actually one of the big splits right now. If you're worried about like this disease, is they're wondering if it's some sort of like, are they born this way? Like, is there something in the, like, obviously their brain chemistry is fucked up in some way, but are they born with it and it happens later, or what? What this person is saying is, while there is only the one study by I'm not discounting, this guy is I've looked into this. As far as I know, the guy is a accredited neurologist, but it is he's the only person who's even tried to prove this, that brain scans of individuals of like this person, like she just said, would show that they have female type brains, or at least some mix of male and female type brains, because they had a bad development in the womb that is causing this dysphoria.
Okay.
Which is of course, which is awful for them because it fucks up their life, of course. But that's what they're trying to say, because that was her taking a shot at, like, say, conservatives who there's a section of people who believe that their brains are just male, they're just fucked up, and that's why. Or what they're arguing for is the idea of like hormone replacement therapy for these kinds of people to help them.
Okay, but what she's saying is like the brain's already been imprinted a certain way, and that's it.
Yes, and that hormone replacement therapy will help, not hurt them. If they actually, but the thing is, my problem with that, I don't want to get off on too much, but my problem with that is making sure that the people who get the hormones are the people who actually need it, and the ones who don't. Like, it can't just be a parent who's like, oh, I think my child's a boy, so I need to give him shots of testosterone, or give her shots of testosterone. Like, I think that's stupid, but anyway, continue.
The brain scan or the chemistry test first to see if it was.
Yeah, there has to be a tried and true proven method of doing a brain scan to prove this, in my opinion, to make sure, before we can start giving hormone. Well, I know they're already doing it, but in my opinion, before we can start giving hormones to children, there has to be a super scientific, that sounds dumb to say super scientific, but a scientific.
Super science.
Yeah, I know. I love this. That's another comic, diversity comics. Is SG numbers. They love the science. But they love this the science. Anyway, continue.
All right.
After years of therapy, years of hormone replacement therapy, long, lengthy legal processes, discrimination lawsuits, and so on, I sit here today absolutely, utterly, totally, and completely disgusted with Wizards of the Coast and their erasure of women and their pandering to these horrific, absolute, malevolent people who have co-opted my illness and used it for their own political gain. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I've already sent a letter of protest to Hasbro. My boycott will continue, and I hope that you won't buy this product either, because you are not trans.
Wait. All right. Now on the screen, there's a little post from Lee Sharp, who works at Magic. It says, now that the cat's out of the bag, I'm really glad we are changing he or she to they. Hopefully non-binary players feel more welcome in the game.
Yeah, Lee Sharp's a total fucking soy boy. So
yeah, he looks like one.
like, oh my god, like if you see like that look, if any. All right, I'm saying this allegedly and not and in jest and not serious.
Okay.
He looks like a future defendant.
Okay. All right. So all right, you're hearing it here, folks. Lee Sharp's a kitty diddler.
Yeah. So, all right.
You're not a trans trender. So why are you going to use cards that make you a non-binary blah, 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 blah? I mean, non-binary is more fictional than Magic the Gathering. But it's so nice of Wizards of the Coast to drag their first world bourgeoisie bullshit into imaginary planes. Thanks, Wizards of the Coast. Keep up the great work.
It is true. If there was an area where this could matter like less, I mean, it's like a fake world with wizards and dragons and stuff, and they're trying to like the psyche of the planet. It's so idiotic.
They're trying to appeal to a section of the population that's less than 1% of the population, and
it doesn't even play this game. Like
generally speaking, and of them, I doubt that even like. What do you think? Like 10% of them, 20% of them play Magic? Like, that's like super high estimates for a group of people to play Magic. Like it's more probably like maybe 1% of them of the less than 1% of 1% of the population. Like, whatever. It's stupid.
And if you were one of them, like why would you care? I don't understand why people care about pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey guys, one last thing. A week from today, Masters 25 comes out. Of course, I've talked about that in my last two videos, and you know what I think about it. So, we are going to be doing a special stream.
Oh, we can stop now.
All right, they're just plugging stuff at this point.
Yeah,
so for people listening, that was the YouTube channel Magical Tabletop Girls. I guess we'll probably add that.
I think her name is Tara Sophia on Twitter.
Tara Sophia, okay.
I do follow her on Twitter because she usually does roast these Wizards people and a lot of other people pretty well.
All right.
So if you're interested in that, go ahead and follow her on Twitter. Yeah, I just think I wanted to share that because I think it's an interesting perspective. This is a person who actually suffers from this mental illness, recognizes they do, and is appalled by the decision of Wizards of the Coast to do this, to appeal to people who malevolently that's the thing is I want to focus on. They malevolently co-opted her illness, right?
Yeah. To
push a political agenda, right?
Yeah.
Which is disgusting. Like I think she said, they should be ashamed of themselves for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. I don't know if I'll go as far as management has to change. I'll honestly probably stop my boycott. Like anybody cares about my boycott, but I'll probably stop my boycott of sealed product. If they like standards fun again and the cards stop curling. That's my main things. Like I don't care as much. The thing is like it's obviously a very personal issue to her. But I don't care as much about the they versus he or her thing. I think it's stupid, definitely, and I do think it's malevolent and bad for them to do this the way she explains it. I agree, but it's not the biggest issue I have with the game. But I think it's a very interesting perspective on this decision by Wizards, which is why I wanted to share it.
Sure.
With I understand that she has way more viewers than us, but I think it was interesting to talk about at least.
Yeah, I agree totally with what you said, where it's like it's not the biggest issue I care about, but it is still annoying.
Yeah.
And I think, I kind of think boycotts are just kind of gay, so I don't think they do anything. But I mean,
I don't know, man. Like the sales are decline. Sales have already declined enough for them to do stupid stuff like make challenger decks that I like and stuff like that. So I can't. Like, I understand. I understand. It's not boycotting. It's just people deciding not to buy the product anymore. But the thing is, I understand boycotts sound very gay. I agree, but I think it is a tool that the public can use to change product if they can. I think if enough people make it vocal, like the thing is like these companies want to make money, right? Like Hasbro has to see that their subsidiary Wizards of the Coast, right, has lost revenue over the years, these past few years, right? And eventually something has to get done. Right.
I think like Innistrad and Scars of Mirrodin was probably like the last big spike in the game, and it's been like downhill since then.
Probably. I would say Return of Ravnica probably brought people in.
Okay.
Well, see, I would say Innistrad and Scars got people into the game, and then Return of Ravnica got people to come back who had left before.
Okay.
And then after that, we've just seen a little bit of a decline. We probably saw a little bit of a decline every year. And then we've seen sharp drops in the last couple years.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably imagine them like retaining players during Cons block, but like Battle for Zendikar and everything after, I don't see them. I see it all downhill from that.
Yeah, no, definitely downhill from Battle for Zendikar. And the thing is, they didn't. Okay, we need to finish up. It's like over 3 hours now. But I'm gonna have to listen to this whole thing to put timestamps in. I'm dreading it. But yeah, all right. So we'll finish up there. Yeah, I agree. It's been going downhill, and Magic sucks right now. I hope they change soon.
All right.
Any closing thoughts?
No, we just got to keep watching the game and seeing which direction it goes. Not every episode is going to be this long, folks, but thanks for listening if you made it this far.
Yeah, I doubt anybody's going to listen to this whole thing. So if you listen to the whole thing, comment.
Some sort of super future advanced AI that has taken over the planet and is able to listen to this at super high speeds. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I want to see if anybody actually listened to this part. So if you actually listen to this part, leave a comment that says AI is gay in the comments.
AI is gay.
And if someone actually says it in the comments, I'll know they listened to the whole thing.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. All right. That's it. All right. I'm Mike.
I'm RC.
And thanks for listening to the Geek Culture and Philosophy Podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Good.